Entering the Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience presented by DraftKings. Week 15 spread picks, game previews, super locks, and free money teasers, plus a Cust Corner mini, as always, on the show. Please smash the like button to the episode. Subscribe to Mayo Media Network. We want to get to 20,000 subs by the end of 2020. If you're listening to the audio version, rate and review as always. Your Christmas gift to us at Mayo Media Network, subscribing, rating, and reviewing. That's all we ask for here, and that you continue to tune in because we're not going anywhere. Geoff Fienberg's in studio, and usually we take off like holidays because you go away, I go home. Not happening this year.
Not
we'll
happening.
be in studio.
Yeah, I just told my wife to the end. Like, she's like, you know, not doing it? I'm like, no, we're going to do it. And we're probably just doing like best of stuff in more real time anyway, because we're just here.
Yeah, so we are going to do the best of show. I have Matt Best is working on that right now. So if you can continue to time code each of the episodes with parts that you enjoy, we can get that all cut together for you because golf doesn't start till the 7th. So we have like this weird like in-between week where I don't know what I'm going to do for content.
I actually didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying this like no golf.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
We did it every week. We did not take a single week. I mean, we took 2 months off. But I started doing like Outlaw Tour. It was a real dark scene there for a while. At Fan Golf Champs on Twitter, if you're interested in potentially winning the Mayo Cup next year, there will be a big announcement coming soon from the Fantasy Golf Championship. So on Twitter, Fan Golf Champions or Fan Golf Champs, sorry, go follow that account and follow me. I'm closing on 60K followers, so I want to get there. I'm like 15 away, so help me out on that front. The listeners' league link is in the description. The Cust Corner feed is continuing to catch up to real time. We got to record a few of those for after the football season ends as well. But all of the vintage Cust Corners are on their own podcast feed and up on Mayo Media Network. But if you want to listen to the audio version, search Cust Corner in the Apple Store or on Stitcher or wherever on Spotify, and you can find that out. I think that's good. Paul's behind the camera. The coin is behind me on the wall because I forgot to get it. And on the line is Tim Cust.
Tim Cust.
That is not my name.
Heard it was.
Nope, heard it wasn't.
You, sir, tied the coin last week for worst week, 5-11.
Bad week, but you know what? I don't want to hijack it too much, but I was proven so right this week that I don't care how bad my picks were.
Is that what the Patriots not winning the division? What's he talking about?
It's got to do with the fact that Diet Coke is a breakfast pop, and it was proven on their Twitter feed after me being harangued on this show last week about how no one ever does that, and those people who voted for you just mocking you. The actual Twitter feed of Diet Coke tweeted on separate occasions about how morning DCs are the best, and I only got up for this, and the DC turning into a coffee mug to encourage morning-based DC drinking. I was 100% right, and I'm here to collect my credit.
Well,
he's been sitting on that. He's been like chomping at the bit, I assume.
Oh, I have.
He came right out with it.
Well, he's been doing this through text to us, and as we continue to tell him, this is something that, addicts do. So, and then he says, I'm not an addict. I can stop whenever I want. Then he says he's going to stop. But then he said he saw the ad, and that inspired him to have a Diet Coke. So,
and then Geoff trying to claim that it's like Camel cigarettes with doctors encouraging, Diet Coke in the morning.
Yeah, listen, I don't think there's anything good about a morning soda, and that's coming from me. I mean, a soda with a cheeseburger and fries, I don't know that I'll ever be able to give that up. It's a weakness.
Can we talk about how
morning
this is a reverse
soda?
of a curse, though? Can we talk about how this is a reverse?
I don't know. You're right. I will say Diet Coke as a brand, Coca-Cola as a company, they are going with this. They are now trying to peddle the product as a morning soda.
It's because they're running out of ideas, and they really need to hammer it. It's like when Trump doubles down on his base. Coke is doubling down on its addict base. Like, you need to start drinking more.
Yeah, start 3 hours earlier.
Yeah, you can't drink 12 in a day like Tim if you don't start at 6 a.m.
Whatever. I just wanted to say, before we get into how terrible my record was, even though I hit my super lock for like the third week in a row, I just wanted to get out there that I was 100% right about this, and that the credit is due to me.
Well, I think this might be the biggest Ander curse of all, because it's just deteriorating people's health.
I don't think that's true. It says diet on the label.
Take it from fitness expert Tim Andercust. He of a 38% BMI.
Listen, I believe that name says Dr. Tim Anderson.
Oh,
That is
that's
true.
a big thing, right?
Insane person.
Well, that was a big controversy. Well, in like a fake little world.
What?
Are you
it
offended
was
that the right some people on the right are saying Dr. Jill Biden shouldn't be able to take doctor into the White House?
I'm not offended by it whatsoever. I'm one of these people that doesn't insist it being used for me, but I earned it. I spent 7 years plus earning it, so it is the proper honorific for me. And for people like, PhDs came first. We became before even MDs. So I mean, I get the New York Times or Wall Street Journal. You want to just use doctor for MDs. That does not bother me. But somebody who has earned a genuine doctorate, which is a PhD or an ED, DPhil, MD, and there are other doctors too. You have the right to use your honorific. You've worked so hard for it. You shouldn't have to forego it just because there are some people who are uncomfortable with the fact that you get to bear that honorific.
I think it's just confusing for people because people are idiots that they think that every doctor is a medical doctor.
Yeah.
I agree. It can be, but that's not reason enough to forgo what you've earned. I earned mine the old-fashioned way. The PhD program that I took there were no shortcuts. You can be sure of that. I worked very hard for it. And so I use it, but I don't insist upon it. When someone calls me Mr., I'm not bothered by it either. So,
Tim once told me that the only reason that he got his doctorate, Geoff, was that he could be on an airplane, someone have a medical episode, and they could say, is there a doctor on board? And he could say, yes, but not that kind of doctor. 7 years worth. Now he's a doctor of being insane.
Well, there's people who dispute that these days.
No one is disputing that. I have yet to see anyone say that Tim is not insane. They might say that Geoff is, some have said that Geoff is more insane, but no one has said you're not insane.
I mean, some people say that insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, but I've been predicting the Patriots would lose the AFC East, and it finally happened.
But you didn't. So you said as of last week they were probably still going to rally and win the division.
Yeah, well, whatever needs to be said, any weapon at hand, whatever.
So what you're saying is that, hold on. Are you saying that the curse is real and you've used the curse?
No, I was
then what
just
are you
trying
saying?
to pump the tires of Patriots fans for them to think, oh, wow, even our greatest hater believes in us. That way, when they crash and burn, the fall is doubly worse. I was hoping the Rams would keep calling timeouts in the fourth quarter and make them make the Patriots punt more on Thursday night. It was so delicious.
Paul, before we get to you on this one, I like that Tim has now framed it that despite being doubly wrong by taking the wrong side each time on the Patriots, that he has somehow fudged it that no matter what the outcome was, he was going to take a victory lap on it. It's ridiculous.
I've been calling it.
And you didn't call it this year, and it finally happened.
Well, I did call it this year. I picked the Jets to win the division. So in a sense, I was right, and I'm coming to collect the credit. This start of the show is sponsored by the credit I deserve.
We were 5-11 ATS. You lost 3/5 of your free money teaser.
He went 5-11, and he literally came on here trying to deflect from that to just show where he should deserve credit.
Yes.
You know who begs for credit this much? People who don't deserve it.
Yeah. But I do deserve it.
You don't deserve it. You were like wrong on everything. Yeah. Paul, what were you going to say?
I just wanted to know if Tim's government issue ID says Dr. Tim Andercust on it, or Dr. Tim Anderson.
No, they don't have honorifics.
All right, so he doesn't want the
I believe my passport says doctor though. I'm gonna have to take a look.
Sometimes.
It should. If it doesn't, it should.
So there is a doctor on the plane.
You won the week, Geoff. You were 10-6 against the spread. My heater is over. I was 7-9. I do lead the way though with 112 in 94. I am 8 up on Geoff, who is 104 and 102. Tim 95 and 111. The coin, sadly, 91 and 120. Can still catch. No, that's wrong. Yeah. I didn't update Tim's losses on this. All right,
but I did get Baltimore last night.
It was the first week of yes, you did. You got Baltimore. We both got all three of us got Baltimore on both ends of the week, and it was the first week all season. All three of us hit our super lock at the same time.
Why are our super locks? You had a push.
No, I had the game canceled. Pittsburgh, Tennessee from like week 4.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm on a bit of a super lock heater. I believe I've hit 3 straight.
Well, I hope you're cashing in because you're not on your free money teasers because you lost again last week.
I cooked up a parlay for this week.
Dropped to 3-12. You're now 70 games below 500 lifetime again, 9-79.
I will say though,
you are 2-1 on money line parlays this year.
What lost
and
it
I
last
am
week?
promising the people. This is some SEO for next week. There are 3 games on the 26th. I have a Boxing Day bonanza next week for the people. Beyond just my regular parlay, which I'll make for the Sunday games, there's 3 games on December 26th. I have a Boxing Day blowout parlay for the people for that day.
You already know the bet?
I know which teams I'm taking, but for SEO purposes, I'm not going to say it until next week. We want to get the clicks. We want people to smash the like buttons.
Do you even know any of the matchups?
I don't know what they are.
Yeah,
I know as little about these matchups as Tim knows what SEO actually means.
I know what's up.
Let's get into the games then, shall we? Starting off with Geoff's Chargers. They're 3.5-point dogs against the Raiders on the road Thursday night. 53 is the over-under. I guess this line, I'm thinking, has to do with Herbert's banged up.
Look like
Eckler, Henry. Shut up. You know what? Let's stop. You're now the host. Go ahead.
I mean, essentially, this line is premised on the fact that the Raiders are terrible, and they have played terribly for 3 weeks. So that's all I really have to say.
There are a lot of injuries. You were sort of going to it.
No, Tim's the host. He can say what the injuries are.
I have no idea. I'm not the host.
But you want to cut me off when I'm running through the information part?
I shouldn't have, and I apologize.
Some doctor you are. Don't even know when to speak. Can't even figure that part out. Raiders are favored by 3.5. 53 is the over-under. Eckler, Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry, and Herbert are all banged up. Casey Hayward may or may not play in this one either.
I think because Trey Turner and Bulaga left Sunday's game early with both concussions. And with the Thursday game and the concussion protocol,
you could have someone showing up to their door being like, tell the truth.
Maybe. But that's why the game, in my opinion, and Mike Williams got hurt.
Yeah, he's not playing. He's not playing.
Yeah.
Tell me about this guy that was second on the team in receiving.
Trey Johnson?
Yeah.
It was amazing. He's caught some bombs this year. A couple 50-yard touchdown bombs.
Might we see Parnham?
He's been on a couple practice rosters. I'm concerned about the Turner-Bulaga situation because it's hard to get out of concussion protocol on a Thursday. I didn't enjoy the game script one bit, but I guess they felt that with the no right side of a line there, like half quickly into the game, that we were going to run the Phillip Rivers, Jay Fiedler blood dump specials all day. A lot of it was designed too.
No, I thought it was.
I want to see my quarterback try to throw the ball downfield. I know he's capable of it. And the most impressive plays he made on the day, Pat, the 2 touchdown passes and the big pass on the drive to set up the field goal were all improvisation. God damn it.
Ask the doctor.
Improvisatory or improvisational.
Improvisational
comedy.
They were plays that just allowed Herbert to sort of improvise on the plays. But instead, there's just this, what a God, dog, dick, predictable play calling situation.
No, I thought it was super sharp. I thought that Lynn did a great job because sometimes you have to embrace the narrative with this sort of thing. If the Chargers are winning that game, they're going to blow it at the end. But if the Falcons are winning that game, they're going to blow it at the end. That was a great, and that's what happened.
And great tweet.
There was no way that game couldn't be stupid.
Yeah.
There's no way.
There was absolutely no way. What a ridiculous scene. But I don't know, this whole just day of blood dump running back drop-offs isn't really for me. Didn't really enjoy it. I guess it accumulated some completion percentage statistics, whatever. Really annoying football game. I'm still rattled about halftime.
No, you don't need to be. It all worked out. The coin likes Vegas in this game.
I do too. In the final Thursday nighter of the year, we say goodbye to Thursday Night Football with the Raiders.
Yeah, good. Thursday Night Football.
I'm good with getting rid of Thursday Night Football.
I don't care.
I am too. With the double up on a Monday night, I'd far prefer it.
I don't even care. They can get rid of it without putting it anywhere else, but they won't.
I like them. The early, not late doubleheader on Monday. I enjoy that.
I like that. But if they want to add an extra 2 o'clock game, that's fine too. There were way too many late games this week. It was stupid.
I actually liked this split between it. And this week, there's
I
only
know.
3. It sucks.
Good. But that's because there's a marquee game that I'd actually like to watch most of. And this allows me to do that without feeling like I'm missing a bunch of other important football games. I like when
This is a
leagues
marquee
curate my
game?
viewing
What do you mean?
experience.
Saints.
The Saints and Chiefs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a great game.
Like I like it when that's like why I prefer listening to the radio when I drive around over CDs because I like when other people are
Because you own a car from 25 years ago that still has a CD player?
I have a cassette player too, not just a CD player. Anyway, I just like that I listen to the radio because I like when other people are curating my listening experience for me. And I kind of like it when the television networks curate my football experience for me by reducing the amount of games at 5 o'clock. I really like that. And
So you don't feel like you have enough discernible taste that you can figure out what to watch or listen to.
He didn't need to watch the entire Jets game. Let's
true.
call it spade. That's why you missed out on the other games to watch them lose 37-3. What was the final score?
I did 40-3. I had to watch because I had to suffer. And I had to endure that suffering, come what may.
I still think the Chargers cover the 3.5 here. The Chargers as dogs have been good. The Chargers as favorites have been bad. They covered their first game in 5 games last week. So
Raiders haven't looked good since that Chiefs game.
Yeah, they played their Super Bowl against the Chiefs, couldn't win, and that was the end of them.
Yeah, well, not quite.
I really thought the Falcons game was going to come down to the Young Hoku walk-off, though.
The revenge walk-off?
He was the kicker in Lynn's first 2 games where he missed a chance, I think, to tie it on the doubleheader Monday Nighter versus the Broncos and then a chance to win it versus the Dolphins in week 2, and we cut him the next week. And now we're afraid. And we did the same thing with Josh Lambo, who went on to be pretty successful for the Jaguars, although he's hurt this year. So now I assume we're just going to stick with Badgley till he dies because we're afraid to cut a third kicker who's going to go on to be really good somewhere else.
Well, maybe they got to cut it. Maybe they got to cut out the copyright of Money Badger, so they need to keep him there so they can rake in the bucks.
He also doesn't miss, right? Badgley's just
oh my god, what a I am.
How shocked were you he made the field goal?
No, that one I actually had a feeling he was going to make. It was short enough, and he made all his kicks on that game. Halftime was probably the maddest I've ever been.
So here's my question.
It was honestly the most upset, the most disappointed I've been before. Like, oh, they lost the game, they lost the heartbreaker. I was mad, absolutely steaming, and I didn't get the answers I demand after the game or on Monday.
My question is, this happened twice because this was very reminiscent of what happened
in Buffalo
against the Bills when they ran it from the 1.
Can I reenact it?
Why isn't Herbert changing the play? If he knows it, if he's that aware, why isn't he changing this up?
I feel he's a rookie and maybe he feels it's not his place, but that is in my notes.
It is his place.
You're right. That is in my notes for later to think Phillip Rivers probably prevented a lot of Lynn was like an idiot for a lot of things. And yeah, Phillip Rivers probably made a lot of mistakes after the snap when he was controlling the football. But for the most part, it's safe to say now Rivers probably covered up a lot of insanity despite doing his own, because this guy's a goddamn moron. And he's essentially in his first year because it's his first year without a 17-year veteran running the line of scrimmage.
Rivers is essentially from Spinal Tap. You should have seen what they wanted to put on the cover.
That's a good point, Tim. And after the game, it's inexcusable. I don't want to talk about it. Duh.
He's Moose from the Archie comics?
But coach, were there not a lot of similarities from the Buffalo game? I said it's inexcusable. I don't want to talk about it. Duh. We hold our professional sports coaches in this country more accountable than you do the president of the United States. He's obligated to do more media scrums. I got Lynn on a Sunday. I got Lynn on a Monday. I got Lynn on a Wednesday. I get Lynn on a Friday, just like your head coach. Everyone except Kyrie. They're obligated. And for the most part, sometimes accountability. And as I've said for years, I'm just so goddamn underserviced. Pat, I'll admit something embarrassing. I pissed on the floor a couple months ago.
Why?
I don't know what happened. My wife woke up and there's a puddle of piss in front of the toilet. Well, obviously it was me. I don't think it was one of the kids. Maybe in the middle of the night, I stood there and I took a fucking piss and I thought I was pissing in the bowl and I wasn't pissing in the bowl.
Oh, I've done that. That happens.
It just happened. She stepped into a pile.
No, that has never happened to me.
You never woke up in the middle. Well, it's because you're not. I mean, you're not shacked up, Tim. You can turn on the lights in the middle of the night without fear of waking anyone up.
Whatever. So
I'm sitting there in the dark, being like, I hope this is going in.
Yeah,
go
okay.
to sleep.
You should know within an instant.
Listen, I'll admit it. I even like to sit. I don't mind.
I'm not trying to sit.
I don't mind to sit.
I'm trying not to hit the water though. I'm trying to hit like the
ball. So it
so it doesn't make the sound. Exactly. So I'm not waking anyone up.
I don't know what I was trying to do, but whatever I did was wrong.
Battle line.
And my wife kind of sucked it up. She even cleaned it up. She even Lysoled the floor.
Well, she doesn't need to do that. It's sterile. It's good to go.
Whatever. It just happened. It's like, I don't know.
Is this story going somewhere?
Yeah, it's going somewhere. It just happened. It was an accident and it happened. But you better fucking believe, Tim, if it happened again 2 weeks later, I wouldn't be allowed to tell my wife it just happened and I don't want to talk about it. So how come no one in this goddamn press conference can be like, Coach, gave you a free pass in Buffalo. You said you didn't want to talk about it. But Coach, it just happened again, and some people would like to know some goddamn accountability. Things are happening on a weekly basis that happen once a generation for your teams.
Well, you think your team does bad stuff.
Are you taking the Chargers?
I'm taking the Chargers. And guess what, Pat? Tomorrow night on the Geoff Fienberg Show, 10 o'clock on FTN. Eastern. I'll be joined by Gilbert Manzano, LA Daily, OC Register. There's no more golf. I do what I want to do right now. Not that I couldn't before. And I'm going to ask Gilbert about these pressers because he's in there and he's not going to give me a Zoom pass.
He's not the guy that you have the rivalry with, is he?
I don't have a rivalry with Popper. I like the Manzano-Popper combo. I want Manzano to come in early and then Popper can come in later and follow up on Manzano. Manzano's currently my number one power rank beat writer, even though I am totally underserviced. I cannot believe these things. That's all. I don't know how it can just be a gloss over. It was out of a timeout. Out of a timeout, 3rd and 1. Out of a timeout, 3rd and 1. What the fuck are you doing, Coach? Like, if you didn't like the play call, there's a timeout, bro. You're in one.
So the Chargers for you and I, the Raiders for Cust and the Coin. Saturday games this week, doubleheader. Buffalo at Denver. Paul's Bills riding high, 6.5-point favorites on the road. 50 is the over-under. The Bills have now covered 5 straight games after losing 4 straight against the spread during their weird COVID scheduling thrown off when they got moved to a Tuesday night with the Kansas City and the Tennessee games. Also better opponents, I suppose, in those games. And the over is 9-4 in Buffalo games this season, but just 1-2 over the past 3. Tim, the defense has returned for the Bills.
It certainly has, and this is a classic trap game. If the good Lord could construct a trap game, it would be this. Everybody in the world is high on the Buffalo Bills. They won a Monday nighter and a Sunday nighter that everybody saw. They looked really good in it. Denver, is a dead team. They're going into Denver on a short week, taking the Broncos here. I think the Bills may win. But I'm definitely taking the Broncos against the number. The Broncos are very live on the money line. This is a very dangerous spot for Buffalo, and I don't advise laying the 6.5. If you wanted to parlay the Bills money line with some other things, you could do that, I guess. But laying the 6.5, I think, is very dangerous here. This game has all the makings of Denver, who 2 weeks ago went toe-to-toe with Kansas City in a game that people figured they weren't going to be able to hang much with, and they went and they did it. Then they went ahead and they beat Carolina last week. Denver's okay, and so be aware of Buffalo. Don't get hung out to dry on them in this game. This is just a bad spot for the Bills.
I was talking to Paul about this before the game, resident Bills expert Paul Shaughnessy, that I actually kind of said the exact same thing you did. It would be a classic trap spot, but Denver won last week. That if they had like lost by 3 or blew that game late, I could kind of see it, but I don't know. It's a tricky line because the Bills just might be by far the second best team in the AFC.
Yeah, but we've seen them got handled early in the year by good teams.
Yeah, but Denver's not a good team. Like I said, Buffalo's now covered.
Who knows what happens? What if that pick six doesn't happen at the end of the first half against the Steelers? Who knows what happens there, right?
Well, what if certain things don't happen in any game, Tim?
I'm just saying
things
the Bills
happen in games.
What does that mean? What if that pick six doesn't happen?
Maybe they don't win the game at all. Like I'm saying, I think that was actually quite a substantial game changer. And I thought they were going to beat them down big. And
so the Bills made like the biggest play in a game in a big NFL game that's always decided by 1 or 2 plays. I don't really understand.
Imagine Justin Tucker didn't make that field goal at the end of Monday night. Maybe the Ravens wouldn't have won.
All right, fine, whatever. You know
what? That's not fair.
I really have nothing more to say on this game. Then,
Paul, how are you feeling about the Bills?
I think like a backdoor cover is very live. Bills on a short week. I mean, like not that short. I guess it was Sunday night football into Saturday afternoon. Got to travel all the way across the country for a 4:00 game on a Saturday. Josh has been great in prime time. I think Bills will get up. The defense is definitely back.
Is it the closest to him ever playing like a home game?
Well,
I don't know geography like Wyoming.
I could see us softening up a little bit down the stretch. They get it within a field goal or something like that. Bills win, but yeah, I mean, it opened at a 6. It's already at 6.5. It's going to get up to 7, I would think, as the week goes along.
Paul told me he's more scared of this game now than he was of the last 2 weeks against San Francisco and Pittsburgh.
Especially San Francisco. That was free money.
Situational.
Yeah,
Paul understands the league is like spot. It's a spot league, and the games can get you situational.
I'm going to take Buffalo. I think they keep rolling here.
I think Buffalo's elite, so I agree. That's sort of like you were sort of. Yeah, there's a lot of things, but no, I actually believe the Bills are elite. Dable will screen them open.
All right, Carolina and Green Bay, the finale of the Saturday games. Green Bay, 8.5-point favorite. 51 is the over-under. They got backdoored by the Lions last week. Didn't cover the 7.5. Now they're getting another point they have to cover this week. No Christian McCaffrey again, it looks like, for Carolina, but DJ Moore should be back. I think this seems like a lot of points. Carolina's frisky enough that they can score. It's not like Green Bay defense is any good whatsoever. I like the 8.5. With Carolina. It just seems like one of those games where they're like kind of competitive in the first half, then Green Bay pulls away, and then they find a way to get it back within like 5 with no time remaining. So I will take Carolina plus 8.5 against the spread.
You kind of laid it out as I see it. I think it's too many points. Carolina, 8.5.
Coin likes Carolina too, Tim.
I like the Packers, and the Packers are the first part of a money line parlay. Look, the Packers are the 1 seed.
Minus 400, huh?
Yeah, the Packers are a 1 seed. They have 1 win against a team with a winning record. This is it. The NFC is a very, very soft conference. None of those teams can hold a candle to the top teams in the AFC. They're all profoundly flawed in their own ways. Looks like Green Bay's got the inside track for sure now to have the bye. But again, other than their win in week 3 against the Saints, they haven't looked good against a good team all season. So, of course, the Panthers are not a good team. Ipso facto, I like the Packers to roll this week. Next week when they play the Titans, I expect the Titans to just destroy them because that's exactly the type of team constructed to beat the Packers. But not this week. This week against the Panthers, who are a dead team walking, going into the freezing cold. And it's supposed to be quite cold in Green Bay. You know, the Packers take advantage of these situations. I like Rodgers to have a great game and Green Bay to have a really, really big game. And that's the way I see it going. But be aware that this Packers team is not what it seems.
I don't necessarily agree that the NFC is a soft conference versus the elites of the AFC. Like, take the Chiefs out of the equation in the AFC. Like, the Chiefs are just better than everyone. Then, like, with the Bills, the Steelers, the Colts, the Titans, would they be running away with the NFC? I don't think they would be. Like, they're about as good as the Packers and the Rams and the Seahawks and the Saints and the Bucs.
I think the team like the Colts maybe is a slight cut above those teams. We saw Green Bay.
You think that the Colts are better than like all those top NFC teams?
As good as them, I should say. We saw the Colts and Packers play, and the Colts beat them, and they should have beat them by more.
Yeah, but what if Rivers didn't throw 3 touchdowns in that game? Would they have won?
I'm just saying, I think the NFC is softer than people want to give it credit for, and I don't think there's no elite NFC team. Let me put it that way. There's no elite NFC team. Now, if my life was on the line and I had to pick one NFC team to win the Super Bowl, I wouldn't feel comfortable with any of them.
But it feels like there's only one elite team in football.
Yeah, I think the Rams are the most complete team in the NFC. But they still have their problems. Yeah, there's only one elite team. It's the Chiefs.
Yeah,
Chiefs are so much better than everybody else. But I still think the top tier of the AFC, the Titans and the Colts and the Bills and the Steelers, I'll take them
Browns
over. The Browns have their flaws.
Ravens,
but even the Browns, when it comes to comparing with the wildcard teams, I'll take them over just about every single NFC team. Like, I feel the AFC is significantly stronger pound for pound.
They do look good this year, but we'll see how it comes down to. I mean, it's really hard to gauge because you're dealing with like one-off interconference matchups. Say like, oh, Indianapolis is better than Green Bay. They might be, but I don't know. I think in a rematch, if it was down neutral site or in Green Bay probably wins. They could go into Indy and win as well. It's a bad week for the Packers.
Maybe. That game where they got blown up by Tampa still leaves such a terrible taste in my mouth. I can't get over it.
But teams have bad games.
I know, but that game just lingers with me. I'm sorry. I can't get rid of it.
And like the Chiefs play a bad game every week, and then they decide to like try for 20 minutes and they kill everyone.
Yes, that's true. That's fair.
Sunday game, Seattle and Washington. It looks like Alex Smith might sneak his way back in for this game. If not, we're going to get Haskins under center. Seattle's a 5.5-point favorite on the road. 44.5 is the over-under. The under itself was 3-1 in Washington's first 4 games of the season, but now the over is 6-2-1. Since the offense has come alive, no Antonio Gibson in this game. We'll see some more Peyton Barber and J.D. McKissick. It's a really strange game. Isn't this a rematch of the game that I know it was ages ago, but didn't Griffin get hurt against the Seahawks in that playoff game?
Yeah, it was
Shanahan the last 2 game. And the last 2 playoff games the Redskins have played are against Seattle. Remember Kirk Cousins? Oh no, that's a lie. The other one was against the Packers. But they in the Gibbs era, the Washington team, lost to Seattle. These teams have a lot of weird history playing each other.
Yeah, the footballs. We mean the footballs when we're talking about Washington.
Well, historically though, that was their name. So I think that's actually fair.
That's not how that works. That's a dead name now, Tim.
Okay, fair enough.
Don't use it anymore.
Anyway, I like the Seahawks in this ball game, and I like the Seahawks on the money line as we're going to add them to the parlay. I don't think Alex Smith is going to play, and if he does play, I think he'll be so hampered as to be completely ineffectual. Seattle, after having played some poor games, clicked into all cylinders, as that's what the New York Jets exist to do. And Seattle is just a cut above this Washington team. And even though the Skins have, even though Washington has a marvelous defensive front, I expect Russell Wilson to be able to take advantage of some of the softness on the back end. And yeah, I actually don't think it's going to be all that close. Seattle's on a short list for SUPERLOCK for me too.
Same.
I like Washington a lot here. I think that front seven's a real problem for an offensive line that cannot block. We just kind of saw what happened. Like, just look at Houston the past 2 weeks. Like, their offensive line has been deteriorating, and teams that don't generate pressure are generating a ton of pressure. It seems to me like in this game, it's going to be a whole lot of DK Metcalf, and he'll get his. Washington tends not to cover wide receiver ones very well. But everywhere else on the field, they're stout. And although since Jamal Adams has come back, the Seattle defense has been a lot better. They're not good by any means. It's not like they're playing the Jets every single week, so that can make you look a little bit better than maybe you are. 5.5 just seems like a lot. I'm not saying Washington's going to win, but I think this game just stays really close. And especially with like Pete Carroll wanting to run more often than when he probably should be passing, I could just see it being a very condensed game, which tend to stay pretty close. If Haskins plays, all bets are off.
I lean with Tim. This game is on a SUPERLOCK shortlist for me. Seattle's healthy now. Mm-hmm. I agree. The Washington front unit will cause problems, but over the course of 4 quarters, Seattle will keep score. Will score, and Washington will stall enough times. I don't mind this 5.5 one bit. As sort of Tim alluded to, Seattle was ripe for the picking, and they got for a bit, but not right now. Not at a full complement this week. Washington's got a lot of things have sort of bounced their way, and I've been backing them and lucky to do so, but not here.
Houston and Indy. Indy favored by 7.5 at home. They've covered 4 straight against the Texans.
Let's go.
The over-under is 50.5. Although Watson had the ball on like the 2-yard line 2 weeks ago to beat them and then fumbled it away.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a false cover, but it kind of was.
But they covered. I mean, Houston could have won the game, Tim, if Watson hadn't fumbled the ball.
Well, that is true. That is what was going to happen. Give me the Colts. I'm starting to feel this Indianapolis team right now.
Uh-oh, stop.
Full stop.
No, they don't need it. Dude.
I mean, they're still in a death match with the Titans to decide the division. So they have everything to play for. The Colts, have been clicking, even though, Rivers is playing good football, even though I still am of the opinion that I don't think he's the best quarterback on the roster. He's playing better. The running game is
someone else.
The running game has looked good. The defense is coming around. The Colts have won some big games this year. They're starting to round into becoming an intimidating team that isn't the Chiefs in the AFC. And even though I don't know if I'd even pick them to win a playoff game, because styles make fights, so they had to go into Buffalo or Tennessee or whatever in week 1 or in round 1, I probably wouldn't pick them. But nevertheless, I think they're a good team, and I expect them to beat the spread here by -7.5. I like them here.
Colts.
Oh, and I have them on the parlay too. Sorry, that's the third part of the parlay.
Colts are rolling. As you mentioned, teams that aren't getting pressure on Houston. Rutgers going to be a force. Colts going to crush on both lines. They'll do what they want. Backdoor in play here, certainly, especially with the hook. Watson down 10, 14 points. That'll suck. This is going to be on a teaser for me on Sunday. This just
feels like a lot of running from the Colts. I would take the under of the 50.5 in this game. I think that would be the side that I would want to play. I'm going to take Houston to backdoor this. Eventually, it's so weird when Will Fuller went down with the PED suspension. You look at the splits for Watson when Fuller plays versus when Fuller doesn't play, and his TD rate when Fuller plays is 2.4 touchdowns per game, and his TD rate without Will Fuller in the lineup and on the field is 1.1 touchdowns per game. And he's thrown 1 touchdown each of the past 2 games without Will Fuller. But Jordan Akins is getting sun in his eyes and dropping the ball in the end zone now. And then Deshaun Watson gets hit in the nuts and has to sit out 4th down. It's just really weird. And then he fumbles the ball on the 1-yard line 2 weeks ago. It's been a clusterfuck for the Texans. It feels like they deserve some good luck to bounce their way. So I feel like they probably get a few breaks in this game and they can somehow cover the 7.5. And I wouldn't start trusting the Colts, by the way. I mean, this is the same team that lost to Jacksonville.
Tim, and I don't want Tim anywhere near the Colts.
No. I have been more critical of the Colts than anyone else on this show. So when I say I'm coming around,
and that's what he's saying. He doesn't. Go away. You go away.
But I just said I probably will pick against him in round 1 if they're on the road too.
Well, this isn't round 1. This is this week.
No, I know, but I'm saying I respect the team in a way that I hadn't been.
Crucial home league semi-final.
Mm-hmm.
Herbert or Watson?
I play Herbert. I guess if Keenan Allen sits, I probably wouldn't play Herbert.
I would play Watson personally.
Watson, the rushing yards with Watson have really been coming through because he's been forced to run more. But it feels like that touchdown upside is actually capped without an elite receiver on the field. Cooks should play, but we thought he was going to play last week until the very last second. Then he couldn't go. It's really strange. Tampa and Atlanta. I want to hear the myriad reasons that Tampa is still going to win the Super Bowl, yet Atlanta will cover this game, Tim, because that's how I feel you're going to lean here. The Falcons are 5.5-point dogs at home. 50.5 is the over-under.
Well, I am going to take the Falcons. And because I'm not a John Kerry, I don't flip-flop. I'm sticking with my Super Bowl picks until they're mathematically impossible. So I'm not backing away from the Bucs. But I haven't seen them play a good game in weeks. And they come off the bye. And I remember both of you guys said this last week about how the Buccaneers are such a great play because coming off the bye, they'll be rejuvenated. And they were flatter than a crepe.
And they covered.
They covered because the Minnesota Vikings can't kick. That's the reason that they covered. That did not look like a team fresh and energized from a bye. If you watched that game, you'd have no inkling that they had just come off an off week late in the year. They covered the game. That's great. And they hit that big, deep touchdown. They got bailed out on a field goal at the end of the half on a PI that never, ever gets called. The Vikings missed a million kicks. I don't know. Listen, I'm not backing away from Tampa. They still have Brady. They still have amazing weapons. That team is going to get in the playoffs, and they're going to play a team like Green Bay, who they already beat. or they're going to play a team like New Orleans, who even though they lost them twice, it's divisional and it's really hard to beat a team 3 times. Like I think Tampa's a really, really bad matchup for teams once you get in the playoffs. But the Falcons keep playing teams close and keep fighting on. And I'm a dum-dum and pick the Falcons just about every week because I can't help myself. And that will persist into week 15 because I will take the Falcons to cover what I think is a 3-point game because I have yet to see Tampa again look as dominant as I expect them to week in, week out.
Not sure whether Julio is playing.
If he plays, I would love to know and be on Atlanta. Tim, you made a comment about what I may have said last week. I am certain the only thing I alluded to last week as it pertained to Tampa was as someone that doesn't believe in them, that honestly didn't believe in them from go on this season. I thought it was a fantastic thing that they got such a late bye and to maybe come out of it showing life. I am thrilled that they played the exact game that you mentioned. I watched a lot of that football game because it was important for some fantasy implications for me. That being said, I'm going to pick Tampa here, but if Julio plays, I think Atlanta can win.
Well, the biggest thing to me was Tampa, almost like New Orleans last week too, just dominant run defenses. Dalvin Cook was able to go for over 100 against them. That was unexpected, but they were able to shut down Jefferson and Adam Thielen. What is Atlanta going to do? Is Atlanta going to run the ball for 100 yards on them? Absolutely not. So if they're missing Julio and they have Calvin Ridley and Russell getting the gauge, I'm not really buying it here. I just don't think Atlanta can score enough points on them. Like if Tampa scores 20, they might cover this number. I love the under 50.5 in this game, which goes really in the face of the evidence because the over has hit in each of the past 4 meetings in this rivalry and 7 of the past 8. But this just screams under to me. That seems like a really high total.
Is this their first matchup, or have they played earlier this year?
They play again in week 17, I believe.
I think, it's a couple of teams who have played each other for the first time. I think the Bears and Vikes play each other for the first time.
What about the Dolphins and Patriots?
No, they played week 3. No, they played week 1. They played week 1.
I'll say Atlanta. I mean, it's no secret, but what an organization that's in a bad place, it seems.
No, they're a top 5 organization. They have a high draft pick, and they have their quarterback.
No, that's
they have like the 6th pick overall. They got to have a top 10 season.
Someone did point out to me that there's no possible way that you can really feel good about the Chargers' outlook unless they get the 11th pick of the draft.
That is probably true. No, see, Atlanta is a team that I don't think has much outlook. I don't care where they are drafting.
I don't agree. If Ryan and Julio and that team is healthy next year and they get a good coach that can energize them offensively, Atlantic is a playoff team right off the hop next season. If people come back healthy.
Bro, the guy got picked off by Jaleel Adai. That'd be like Travis Benjamin making a catch.
Oh, no. You know what it would be like? When Tim said that he could pass interfere NFL wide receivers, which was one of the more outrageous claims of the weekend.
I stand by it.
Did you not hear this?
So a tweet was flying around that said, if you were a free safety in the NFL, how many touchdowns would you give up against an NFL wide receiver? And I said, I wouldn't give up any because I'll just drag the receiver down, take PI in the end zone, and the team can run it in from the 1. I'll just take PI every time. The receiver makes a move, I'll just dive at him and pull him because I'm not fast enough to keep up with him. Believe it or not, I know I can't keep up with an NFL wide receiver. So I'll just knock them down, or I'll just grab them and pull them down, or commit PI, or throw them off the route enough that we can run it in.
Okay,
no, that's not a good strategy. That's a bad
strategy.
No,
it's not. See, I actually appreciate your strategy. Here's the problem with your strategy. You're not bringing any of these guys down nor touching them at any point.
Oh, sure I am. As a free
safety, you actually have to catch up with them at some point in order to get hands on them, which you couldn't do. And you're a fucking weakling, and these are professional athletes.
Yeah, they would hand check you away instantly anyway, I feel.
I think I could cover them.
You couldn't. You couldn't. You would not be with. As I said to Tim, I would give him 100 shots to commit pass interference on me, and I don't think he could do it.
I think I would score in the 90th.
I don't think you think he could keep up with me, especially on route number 94.
I don't have to keep up.
You do. You have to at least be within a foot of me, which you wouldn't be able to.
I think he could commit pass interference on you.
I don't think he could. But he's talking about as a free safety. It's not like
particularly if you're down in the red zone where you don't have very much room to run. it wouldn't be nearly as hard as you think it would be to commit a foul that would give the team like I'm not making some claim that would be like an accomplishment. I'm just saying what I would do is I'd pull the receiver down. Then
you wouldn't be able to get your fucking hands on the receiver.
He's not making a claim that he would get 3 carries and get a first down.
I think this is just as outrageous.
No, but it's pretty out there.
No,
it's insane.
Thank you, Geoff. Oh.
No, it's not as outrageous. It's just insane because I don't think you're touching any of these guys.
And even if he did, they would go, bloop.
Yeah, they would hand check you off.
No, but sometimes when I played defensive end on the other side of the ball, when I played tackle football, sometimes I would have to drop back into coverage. Then sometimes a D lineman would, and so I would drop back into coverage sometimes, and I made plays, broke up passes, or made tackles when I played. So don't you tell me that I would have zero chance.
You would have zero chance
to commit a foul.
It doesn't sound better when you call it tackle football.
Well, that's what it was. Anyway, it's not insane, and I think it can be done. I think you could do it. Geoff could do it.
I put it this way: out of the 4 of us on the show, I would have the best chance, and I have no chance.
You think I could do it? I'm certain I couldn't. I'm certain I couldn't.
I actually don't think it's that much of an accomplishment to commit a foul.
Like if a guy was fully extended with his arms in the air,
why would Tim even be close to him?
I could come there with like 2 hands, full strength, and just like shove his body.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I'm saying.
But I don't think that you could.
But if we're like there and we're like, I'm trying to keep up or I'm trying to like get in his way, I'm telling you, like the guy would shrug me in a second. And if I did stay with him for that first half a second, I'd be hand checked to the ground, I feel.
Well, I stand by it. I think it can be done.
It's absolutely nuts.
I think Tim's
Where do you think you'd even have positioning?
I feel like I'm a pretty confident individual just in terms of life. I can't imagine having this sort of blind confidence myself.
Yeah, this is going to gain me points again. People are probably going to apologize to me this week just because I'm passionate about my team. They're going to be like, whoa, that guy. Here's the other part of it, Tim. This isn't like your friend in the park delivering the football. This is a football that will arrive so fast, you have no goddamn clue it got there. Like, that's the other part of it.
And great, I really don't have to time it then. I'll hit him early before the ball could even possibly get there.
So that's like defensive holding or illegal contact. That's not pass interference.
Okay.
Even so, he still doesn't have the ability to do that.
The wide receiver knows that you're going to try to pass interfere him. You're screwed.
So where do you start
He's just going to deke around like DK Metcalf rolling down the field at Tim Anderson. Like, come on. You're going to need a real doctor, not your kind of doctor.
Yeah, okay, we'll give him Cole Beasley.
Like, DK's not even fair.
Yeah, Tim could try to hit DK Metcalf as hard as he could. He would bounce
I
off
don't care. You're done.
Yeah, but here's the thing that you have to realize, too, that he's not taking consideration, is that every play, he'll have his opportunities in this hypothetical scenario, because every play on offense is being run at that guy over there. So let's just run towards that guy. Who are you keeping up with?
I don't need to keep
by
up
the time you tried to interfere with someone, they would be 10 yards by you.
Yeah, you know what the plays would be called? It'd be called Sweep Anderson, which means whatever side you're lined up on, that's the way we're running the sweep. That's the call. Sweep Anderson.
Maybe I'd run a blitz up the A gap then.
In what? Fall?
No, listen. But my point is, because I was actually very careful to craft it this way,
and it was still the fact that you put so much thought into this is even more insane.
I didn't want to sound like a crazy person who was pretending like he could do something he can't. Once the receiver, and I have the 10-yard head start.
That's your forte.
I have the 10-yard head start, being that far off the line of scrimmage. Once the receiver gets
he's got the motion
equal to me, then I'll just commit the foul.
Yeah, Tim's lateral movement is much better than people's forward movement.
Equal to you.
I was an expert cross cutter. I'll let you know.
Define equal to you.
Like when they're next to me, like close to me, close enough that all I have to do is just push out and touch them. And in the NFL is so precise, a slight little dislodgement will throw the whole rhythm of the route off.
You don't have enough strength in your body to commit pass interference.
You think
they would just run right through you.
You think you're getting...
In fact, what might happen is you might accidentally get called for just being on the receiving end of offensive pass interference because you're so weak.
It would take you at least 30 tries
To get a hand?
Yeah,
maybe. I'd say more. He would never get a hand.
The first 30 tries, you think you know the lane they're taking, and they would just they'd be gone anyway. Like you would try to, buddy.
He basically thinks he's Ed Reed.
No, I don't.
So you could run for a first down, and you could.
I was imagining a play on like the 5-yard line where there's so little space.
Yeah, which would be even worse for you because the guy would just come and fucking truck you in within 5 yards.
He's not allowed to. Well, I would.
Yes, he is. Yes, he absolutely is. But
I'm a free safety.
If you're going to play within 5 yards of the line, then no one's going to go near you. Or
so someone's going to throw a fade. You're going to actually be able to prevent the receiver from
I'll just push the receiver out of bounds.
You can't. You don't have enough strength to push people.
Or grab an arm or something.
No, you see, you would probably think he's going inside and he's standing in the back corner. That's the thing you don't understand.
If you're in the back of the end zone, how are you going to close all that distance to get to him if he just does like a quick little out? Like if you're, I don't know. I imagine you're going to line up next to like the.
No, he's not man here, Paul. He's not man.
He's roaming.
He's not man. He's roaming back there.
That's how you'd have to be close to him.
They're gonna throw a jump ball to Hunter Henry in the end zone. Tim's gonna tackle Hunter Henry. What size is Hunter Henry again?
He's probably like 6'5", 6'4",
like 250.
Yeah.
Tim's got just push him right out of the way. No problem.
Just push him enough to disrupt the route, or just enough to commit a foul. Oh, I don't even have to look at where the quarterback's going. I'll just push that receiver right out of bounds. Commit PI. Boom. I didn't get beat for the touchdown.
You think you're normal, right?
Yes.
What I'm saying is actually not nearly as outrageous as you think it is.
I would like people to comment on this. Tweet at Tim, at Tim Anderson 87, or at Tim Andercust, both Tim's accounts plus his multiple burners, and you tell him whether you think that he would be able to do this or not. I'm curious to see what the people think.
The athletic abilities that are required to play secondary in the National Football League, they're literally the only position I would argue the combine might be meaningful for.
I mean, I think there's elements of
but I'm just saying that whole aspect of it, like the sheer athleticism of football, I think is required to play defensive back. I cannot believe this guy.
I would bet money on him not getting a hand on anyone, unless they intentionally went to go hurt him.
It's a small space from the 5-yard line.
It's not. That's 15 yards.
Honestly, you don't think I can just push?
It took you over 7 seconds to run 40 yards.
You're making it like you know where the ball is going.
I don't care where the ball's going. I'm just picking a receiver and interfering with him, and I won't get beat for the touchdown. That's the objective of that tweet.
Yeah, but you said that you were going to line up as a free safety and not off the line. How are you going to do that? Because you're going to have to close the distance. This guy runs like a 4.4. How are you going to close the distance when we have video evidence of you running a 7.9?
Well, he can run towards me then.
He's not going to run towards you because he knows that you're going to try to pass.
No, they probably will run. As I said, sweep Anderson. They're coming right to him.
Yeah, and what's Tim going to do? He's going to stand there and fall over. Or cower, like George Michael when someone throws keys at him.
Tim, you wouldn't last. I don't think you'd even last a dozen plays.
No, you'd last one. He'd be hurt.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Again, that sort of confidence. I mean, it's something I would love to achieve in my life, is to have that sort of confidence.
Imagine.
I think anyone would.
Tim thinks he's making a move. Oh my God. I'm just picturing the footwork on the receiver.
Paul?
I think we have to recreate this at even if it's a Canadian university. I want to see it.
Yeah. I think we can make that happen. We'll get the cameras in.
Yeah, I don't even think he would beat high-level CIS.
Like I said, I don't think he could interfere with me.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
I really don't. Jacksonville and Baltimore is up next. Baltimore coming off a big win. 13.5-point favorites now. 46.5 is the over-under. Is Baltimore back? Were they the shits, but then they went for a shit and got it all back together? I don't know. But I like Jacksonville to cover in this game with Gardner Minshew back. 13.5.
I do too.
The Ravens defense is just kind of I think James Robinson's going to have some success, a lot like Nick Chubb did on early downs early in that game on Monday night. Minshew just loves a backdoor cover. He couldn't make it happen because he came into the game too late against Tennessee last week, but I think Baltimore's going to make the playoffs. I think that they're going to be a tough out, but I just don't see them blowing teams out anymore. Do you?
Do the Ravens have their secondary? Because it seemed like everyone got hurt
I don't know.
yesterday.
I mean,
and that would like me the back door more. That being said, Jacksonville is everything we thought they were going to be in August. They won opening day. They haven't won since. Baltimore annihilates bad teams.
But they haven't been annihilated.
What did they do?
They beat Dallas.
I don't know, fuck Dallas.
Coin likes Jacksonville a lot.
They covered versus Dallas, though.
They did cover versus Dallas. They covered versus Cleveland. But what was the score in that? Like, the spread wasn't huge in that Dallas game.
9?
This is a huge spread. 13.5?
Yeah, it's too many points.
And
just too many.
13.5. And here's the fun part. The over has hit just once in Jacksonville's past 5 games.
Give me
and they've covered like 3 of those.
Short week. Yeah, I guess. Injuries, secondary. Give me Jacksonville.
Tim?
I'm not touching this game.
Yeah, Jacksonville as well.
I kind of like, I think.
You like this, SUPERLOCK?
Kind of digging Jacksonville here. I don't know if I really want to go down the Jacksonville route for this, but that's a round at Jacksonville, including the coin. Would you be scared of Baltimore in the playoffs?
Depends who I am. If I'm Tennessee, nope, not in the least. If I'm Kansas City, not in the least. If I'm Pittsburgh, very, because it's very hard to beat a team 3 times, and that team knows them very well. Cleveland, absolutely. Cleveland's not capable of beating good teams. So yeah, I'd be terrified.
Buffalo Ravens game is intriguing to me on the surface. Right
yes,
now,
I agree.
I think that Baltimore could, if Baltimore is healthy by the time the playoffs come along, I think they're alive to beat anyone in the NFC.
I kind of agree.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that they will.
I mean, I'm not. I think maybe Baltimore coming in because coming into the year, you know.
Their expectations have been so diminished on what they're supposed to do now.
That's what I mean.
I think being free from that might
That's
be a
where I
boost
was going. And the fact that if they could be underdog in the playoffs, trying to shed this Lamar label, because there were 2 really ugly playoff games, right?
They were favorites against the Chargers, though, right?
No.
They weren't?
They were home underdogs, I want to say. That was a really good Charger team.
Yeah, they were 12-4.
No, they were favorites.
They were favorites.
They just went into San Diego on a Saturday like 2 weeks before. 100%. They were.
And then Tim said that it was impossible for the Chargers to lose the next week to the Patriots.
A lot of people said that, not even talking about myself. Patriots love beating us like by 40s. Yeah, I think the dynamic is now setting up where Baltimore having to get this. The whole season felt like, or at least, you know, saying August about Jacksonville, what have you, was like, I don't know, Baltimore, they have this like playoff monkey that they're wearing. No doubt they still have it. But it's a lot smaller monkey if they go into that first game as a wild card. It's like as an underdog than they are as a favorite at home, having just lost 2 straight home games as favorites in the playoffs under Lamar Jackson. I think they're live. I'm taking Jacksonville with the points here, but I mean, Lamar was amazing last night.
Yeah, when he's good, he's good.
Amazing.
I agree.
And Cleveland was full marks to them. I mean, we'll talk about them later, but full marks to them. Yeah,
they're negative point differential.
Yeah, you're not going to give any credit to that. You're a clown.
Well, again, the advanced stats also think the Browns are a bottom tier team, but that's just me and the numbers. That's just what we think.
Well, in fact, when you take them out of those horrible weather games, they've been very good.
Well, last time I looked, week 1 it was pretty sunny, and they lost by 1 million.
The Colts also suck. They lost to Jacksonville.
They lose by 1 million and then lose twice to Baltimore.
Well, they lost to a team with 1 win. That's their only win.
It's interesting. The Browns lost yesterday is actually really important because there are several scenarios where 11-5, there are multiple 11-5 teams, and the Browns get thrown out in that circumstance. So that loss to Baltimore, having lost them twice, is actually a really big loss.
I think it's going to be fun if that actually happens. The Browns are 11-5 and miss the playoffs. Till we go, I told you they sucked.
No, just if the Ravens and the Dolphins take care of business, then
it's going to be tough for the Dolphins.
I don't see the Dolphins winning out. You're pretty much talking about all these teams winning out, which I don't think is going to happen.
No, I don't think so either. Although the Bills probably don't have anything to play for, so week 17 for them might actually be an easy game for the Dolphins. I don't know, but anyway, put it this way: that the Browns no longer have everything in their own hands any longer.
Chicago and Minnesota. Games in Minnesota so far this season, 6-0-1 to the over.
This could be my super lock.
But the Vikings are just 2-5 against the spread in those games. Do the Bears have life under Mitch Trubisky? Is he playing for a job next year?
I think the job is his.
I don't know, for anyone. The Jets?
I think it's his job in Chicago.
They didn't sign the 5th-year tender on him, did they?
No, they didn't. But you know what? They're going to finish 7-9, 8-8. They're not going to be able to draft a good quarterback.
Yeah, what if they get rid of the GM?
Well, but they might do that. But then at the same point, it's like they're going to get some other QB off the scrap heap who's significantly better. I don't know. If Trubisky plays well, if Trubisky plays well the rest of the season, I don't know. Is that really? I don't know. If Trubisky plays well the rest of the season, I think I would keep him if I were the Bears at this point. I don't know. I like the Bears here. The Vikings, had a brief, respite of life, but they are deteriorating again. And the Bears, I give them their props. I was critical of them. Then 2 weeks ago, they scored 1 million points and lost to the Lions. And then they scored 1 million points again, and they beat the Texans. So, I don't know. I think they're 2 relatively even teams. And you're telling me that I get more than the 3 points that I ought to. So, I'm going to take the Bears.
I'm going to take Minnesota at home here, especially coming off a down week against Tampa. The Bears' defense is kind of fool's gold at this point. Against Houston, that's one thing when they are devoid of a running game and no legitimate receivers, and then the receivers who are out there are dropping touchdowns, and on critical plays, the starting quarterback is leaving the game. I think this defense can be had, especially indoors on the fast track, and that's where you want to be playing Minnesota. I think just it's going to turn into a boat race, and if it turns into a boat race, then I like the team that loves a love boat cruise, Tim, the Minnesota Vikings.
Cordarrelle Patterson revenge game.
I am mentioned off the top. I had a super lock shortlist for this game, and it's on Minnesota. Pat, you said a lot of things I do like. A minute ago, Tim was raving about how well Minnesota played minus a kicker.
And Tim cursed the kicker
last week.
And they did play well.
I like Minnesota here. You did mention it at home. They'll be able to. They lost to Chicago in primetime, about a month ago?
Did they?
Yeah, Cook had like 38 yards in that game. It's really, or maybe more than that. Did they not lose that game?
I don't think these teams have played yet this year, Geoff.
Yeah, they did. It was in primetime. They ran like Cook 30 times. He couldn't get anywhere.
I'm going to look that up. I believe you. You sound like you're certain of it, so I will go.
It's like that when it's a fantasy nerd in me that knows that.
You're right. It was a 19. You're right. 19-13 on Monday Night Football.
Bears won?
No, Minnesota won 19-13.
I still like Minnesota here. It could be my super lock.
Okay. Here's a game that all your 80s heads out there are really going to enjoy. Niners at Dallas. Dallas, 3.5-point dog at home. 45.5 is the over-under. Why is it that the books like San Francisco every week? And I'm like, oh, everyone's going to bet against San Francisco, so I'll take San Francisco being super sneaky. And they get fucking wrecked every single week. Ugh. Hate this so much. I'm going to take San Francisco again here. Dallas sucks.
Dallas does suck. I'm taking San Francisco with you. Last week, I flip-flopped 2 games, and I went 1-on-1 on them. I was going to take San Francisco, and I flip-flopped to Washington, and then I was going to take Buffalo. Ended up betting Buffalo on Sunday night, but I flip-flopped to Pittsburgh. Water did kind of find its level on that respect. I like San Francisco quite a bit here. Dallas is atrocious.
Mostert may not play.
Are they getting love for beating up the Bengals? That just seem like,
but it's not even love. They're 3.5-point dogs at home. Honest to God, unless it's Washington, I guess Pittsburgh or Philadelphia ended up winning in New Orleans last week. But just bet against the NFC East. It's been a winner.
Although they said they've been winning some games recently. The Giants beat Seattle, and anyway, like you said. But anyway. Give me the 49ers. I don't know, man.
That's a round. That's a round of 49ers.
I'm glad that they flexed it out of Sunday night, so I don't have to watch this game.
Yeah. People, I could see they announced McCarthy's back next year.
Well, yeah, he's only been 1 year and he lost his QB in week 3. You can't hang out a guy. You can't be one and done in that circumstance. Even if we all think
one
he's
and done for lying to me.
I was looking at the fantasy points per game. Dak still leads everyone.
Yeah, he lost Dak, so he gets a free pass for at least one more season.
If they bring Dak back?
Well, I think they're probably going to. I would give him a pass for this year, too.
They're not committed to Dalton now?
I don't think so. That Gilbert fellow, that Gilbert Gottfried fellow, that guy could play.
His name wasn't Gilbert, it was Gilbert.
What?
Master Gilbert.
No, never mind.
Lions at Titans. We don't know if we have Matthew Stafford in this game. They are calling him unlikely to play with his ribs, but he's a tough guy. He's going to try to tough this one out. If not, Chase Daniel is going to end up starting. They still have a spread on this game. It's minus 10.5 for the Titans. No total to speak of. which seems really strange that there's a spread but no total for it. But here we are. Go play on DraftKings Sportsbook where you can still bet the spread on this game. The Titans, this is cover season for the Titans. They were 5-2 last year, weeks 10 to 16. They're 3-1 in their past 4 games. I like the Titans. They're just going to run all over Detroit. And Stafford, I think, would be able to keep them in this, but if he's banged up or if it's Chase Daniel, without Kenny Golladay still, like I don't know if they have the weapons enough to put up all these points. I'm not sweating Quintez Cephas. I'll tell you that much right now. So Derrick Henry over the Detroit Lions, minus 10.5.
Easy.
Easy's tough with the Titans. You never know with them.
Yeah, it's not easy, but I'm taking them. I thought
easy in the sense there's one side. It's like Titans or nothing.
I don't think this is a bettable game. I don't know a soul that's taking the Lions, which terrifies me. Maybe the coin.
If it got below 10, like to 9.5, then it is. But at the moment, no, it's not.
The coin also likes Tennessee. That's a round of Tennessee. Oh, here we go. New England at Miami. Miami is a 2-point favorite at home. 41.5 is the over-under. Now, Tim, I'm actually going to combine this game with something I like to call a Cust Corner Mini.
Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. He's got the hottest takes with the highest stakes. He should be president of the United States, but it's Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner.
Oh, really? Thank you.
So the floor is yours, sir.
Well, I mean, we're getting towards Christmas time, and it's a time to give back to the people and be generous. And so I have, with the assistance of others, because my tech game is not so strong, I put together a slideshow for the people. This is like old-fashioned. You go watch go see a slideshow of somebody's vacation or trip. So I put some slides together for the people, and we can watch them together. And if you're not watching the YouTube video, you should, and smash the like button.
Subscribe.
If not, subscribe. If not, we'll try to describe it here for you in the podcast the best that we can. Paul, let's go with the first slide. Okay. So this is a tweet from April 21st, 2020. Overall success for the jersey rollout. Don't know why they needed a 2-week promo, but whatever. We're here. On to the next, which happens to be Thursday. Starting to prepare myself for a left tackle. That's legit my 5th preference.
Can I say something?
No.
Here's how at G Fienberg 17 wanted the draft to work out. First, Tua. Second, Simmons. Third, Brown. Fourth, Herbert. 5 O-line. G. Someone else on this podcast has been criticized before for really backing a quarterback who he didn't have first or second or third when their team took him. I can't know who that was. Maybe. I guess Geoff and I are a lot alike in some ways. But at least
didn't I admit this?
Well, let's go to the next slide, Paul. Oh, great. April 24th. After a night to sleep on it, how are you feeling about the Chargers taking Herbert? I feel good. Never said a bad word about Herbert through it all, as I had to a higher, though. He has all the traits we now got to shape perfect. We need to shape perfect some imperfections. So it seems like, again, someone kind of wanted Tua from the start. But I mean, I don't know. Well, let's look at the. You're right. It does seem to have Tua up there. Let's go to the third slide for a moment. He has Herbert to the Finns, Tua to the Chargers. Somebody is celebrating the idea that Herbert is is the Dolphins' problem, and we get to have Tua. Seems pretty excited. I don't know. Let's go to the next slide. LOL, Kimes. If you don't think we talked about this last week. Talked about laughing about Kimes. Let's move on to the next one.
You're really bad at this.
It's good to know. Mina unbiasedly comes after all of us then.
Yeah,
interesting.
what am I saying? I'm correct.
Let's move on. Hate me all you want, Miami. I'm pretty cool. Now, I get accused on the show a lot of being, quote, too rich and not in touch with the people. One person says, I think those shoes are ugly. G. Fienberg says they could pay your mortgage in a second-hand market. LOL. So, looked at your profile, leaves room. I don't know. Seems like there's something going on here. I don't know. Let's move on to the next slide. So here's the throw that we were told that there were throws that only Herbert could make, and that Tua couldn't make one. And someone says, well, look, here's Tua making exactly the same type of throw.
Not the same throw. Show the throw. Can you show the throw?
It's not a video, Geoff. It's a slideshow.
I have one or two more slides here, I think. Oh, look, here's a conversation with somebody. You have a Tua or a Herbert preference? Tua, Simmons, Brown, Herbert. So probably a left tackle. I wish we didn't need a quarterback, this friend said. The top end defensive players in this draft are so good. 4 best players in the draft played D. You'll relate to this. Part of me wants you guys to use your capital to go get Tua, talking about the Dolphins. So nothing I can do about it. Because not picking Tua means his entire career I now root against him having any premium mistake because I can't make that mistake. So if you're going to go get him, nothing I can do. Seems like somebody was ready to hate Tua from the start. I don't know. That's my gift to you, the people, is a review of perhaps the criticisms of Tua maybe are sour grapes.
Okay. I guess this is my turn now?
Yes.
Is there more? Because I got, a lot to say on yesterday in and of itself.
You made more notes off that slideshow than any that you took in college.
No, those were all from before the show.
Oh, okay.
I didn't take a single note during that slideshow. The thing is, Tim is like pretending history doesn't exist, where I've long acknowledged, even on this show, and I guess correct me if I'm wrong, that I wanted Tua on the draft.
Yeah, but now you're all butthurt.
Butthurt.
At least that's your online persona.
See, that's unfortunate.
It's nobody. Geoff, here's why Herbert's the best. Tua sucks.
No, because the thing is, hold on, stop. But have I not, like, the difference between me and Tim is Tim pretends that he didn't, like, want Baker Mayfield. I've come on this show and acknowledged, like, draft day and happy the Chargers got it right. It seems.
Maybe.
But you were prepared to cheer against Tua if you passed on him.
If we passed on him, like anyone, like if you take, in my mind, the Chargers being the last team to take the quarterback, there's no, like, they don't have the choice. It's not like a Bears situation where someone is taken and you can, like, resent it. The 2 other teams took the player. As for Mina, listen, I don't follow her. I don't know her. I don't care for her. It's good to know she just makes fun of everybody.
I enjoy Mina Kimes, former guest on the Pat Mayo Experience.
Good. It's good to know she just makes fun of everybody who's worthy of being made fun of. The other part about it that was so weird to me is what I did yesterday, I've literally done like 6 times before.
Well, this is why we're saying that Tua lives rent-free in your head. Why do you keep bringing it up?
It's more like a Dolphins thing than a Tua thing.
It seems like it's a Tua thing.
But I got dumped into like Dolphins Reddit yesterday.
Well, Tim couldn't handle Dolphins Reddit. He had to quit Dolphins Reddit.
No, I think like my things like got dumped in there. Because like Tuatron and Tua Magladorian or Tualorian and like the same like 8 stock Tua photos.
They are very
like
sensitive.
Attacking me all day. They got some like deep level PTSD there from a lot. So that's over. I hope them the best. Well,
it sounds like you can't take the heat now.
No, it's fine. Listen, the funny thing is the only people that have really told me I'm wrong are Dolphin fans.
Yeah, but whenever you say, okay, so it comes out like you show a thing of a Herbert throw. And then someone will be like, well, Tua's made a similar pass. You're like, of course a Dolphins fan would say that. You're a Chargers fan. Of course
you're right. But I don't. It's
great.
but it seems like 90% of people replying are either just like beyond triggered Dolphin fans.
Or they don't care.
The other 5% are just fans of this show that are enjoying what was happening. And then everyone else is just agreeing. Even to the point where someone sent me a link today where it's almost like they discussed me without naming me on the Le Batard show today.
I hope so. They should name you so we get more ratings.
And Le Batard was going off on his staff and his listeners that it's not really, you can't even compare what you've seen from the 2 of them. I said,
is it because Tua has won way more games?
Yeah, of course. But what I did there, I've literally done it.
Throw the ball.
I've literally done it I've literally done that like 6 times.
Well,
so yesterday it ended up in...
That's the whole point, is that you keep doing it. So he's clearly living in your head.
Yeah,
Why do you feel the need to continue to bring it up?
Jeff,
I'm happy.
It's just like Tim. It's just like Tim with the credit.
No, he's living in my head because I wanted him, and I'm so happy that I was wrong. And I don't deny.
Know if you're wrong yet.
Oh, hold on. Anything Tua can do, Herbert can learn other than perfect skin.
In winning games.
But if you want to make evaluating rookie quarterbacks on wins, that's your thing.
Okay, I think that winning games would be good.
You also literally laughed at me when I suggested betting Herbert at 16-1 to win Rookie of the Year.
I did. He still might not win.
He still might not win, but that bet is gold even if he doesn't.
It's not
win.
Because you will never hedge it. It's just like when you talk about selling these
Why
shoes.
wouldn't I hedge it?
Because you don't hedge it. It's just like you hoarding Herbert cards.
But I could if I want to.
Yeah, but you're not going to.
Because
it doesn't matter.
This is like Kramer with the levels. I could build the levels.
No, but
it's like all these Herbert cards. They're worth this. They're worth this. You're never going to fucking sell them.
No, I've already sold a few.
How many?
2.
2. For how much?
$300 a piece.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see these transactions.
Just to buy more. Just upgrading.
It's just like the shoes thing. You could sell these for whatever. You're never going to sell your fucking shoes.
And then to sell that poor guy that it's worth his mortgage.
Yeah, I know.
It's worth too much. Put it this way. The bet, because like a bet.
Even I
Hold on. A bet from like 5 months ago.
Like
how long? When did I make the bet? Well, this might come off as too rich, but I don't care. The bet that I made, like that money to me is like gone. So yeah, hedging on like a bet from 3 months ago where I don't even feel like I've bet that money, that could make me feel too rich. It's a lot of fucking money because I max betted multiple accounts. But if the guy sets the records, I don't have concern that I'll cash and win a lot of money.
Are we gonna just pretend that Jeff didn't wear Dolphins colors into the studio?
The Dolphins wishes they wore.
Tua's living so rent free in Jeff's brain that
he's wearing
this Dolphin
shade.
Like that shirt, white.
No, the Dolphins wish they wore this shade.
Well, I can tell you that I've been doing scouting for the draft, and I saw Trevor Lawrence make this play against Florida State. And I texted somebody, said, "Can Herbert make that throw?" And he said, "No."
Listen, that's a real thing. The person works at NFL Network and Fox Sports 1.
I do believe.
I don't make that up. I do believe it.
It's
not my fault that little birdies want to.
Is left-handed.
Well, that's a main reason I guess he couldn't make that throw. But Herbert, there's nothing in fact. What I said is a fact.
Embrace the hate.
And the other part of it is Matt Stafford can make a lot of throws Tom Brady couldn't.
Kyle Bowler's pretty good. Big arm.
I mean,
sure.
I'm willing to admit
Phillip Rivers is better than Eli Manning, but Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowls. Eli Manning wins. Like, there's not even a conversation.
I wish the Jets had drafted Lamar Jackson. I'm really annoyed that we didn't. Am I sour
about the difference between you and me, Tim, again, though,
is that he acknowledges he lives his own truth now?
I acknowledge that I wanted Tua. I don't deny that. I don't pretend drafting.
Yeah, that's your fake out on all of this, though.
Why is it a fake out?
Because you're just constantly triggered.
The Dolphins,
and then you get triggered at people coming back at you.
You didn't so much as to want Tua.
Come on, I was pretty good.
You're fucking fantastic.
You were celebrating not getting Herbert.
Are you kidding?
Calling out people for being poor on Twitter?
Listen.
You've become Tim.
Sure. As I've said to you many times, I'm not any crazier. You're just getting to know me better.
Yeah, he's not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with him.
I suppose that's true.
It's a good point, Tim.
Unfortunately, Jeff is a lot like you, Tim. I don't think he's going to be able to get hands on me.
Tim is, listen, Tua's showing some elite game manager skills. If the Dolphins had Herbert, they would legitimately be like a level and a half ahead of where they are in terms of being able to contend.
I agree with that, but I've been a Tua skeptic from the start and haven't stopped.
I don't know anything. You all scared the shit out of me. You talking down my quarterback. I'm happy most people know nothing. The fact that most people know nothing, including myself, has worked out very well for the Chargers.
Potentially.
That's why
we've seen
the best
quarterbacks like
in the
look
NFL.
Okay, then suck the next year.
Yeah,
but this is why they're
because he's already getting worse.
This is why they're having the best season in the NFL.
Pardon?
This is why they're having the best season in the NFL.
They are
Everything's
much
working
like
out
the
for them.
Dolphins. NFL season winners, the team that wins the Super Bowl is one. We'll call that the Chiefs. But behind that, I do believe, even though the Bills might not win the Super Bowl, they're having a great season, and Josh Allen made continued development. Absolute winner. They don't have to win the Super Bowl for me to think they're an absolute winner this year. Baker Mayfield's maturity showing out, like Kevin Stefanski. To me, the Browns, they don't have to win a Super Bowl. Absolute winner this year. Miami Dolphins also show up in that group. The quarterback looks very capable, and the program looks fantastic. They've got 2 more first-round picks. They've got cap flexibility. Fantastic season. New York Jets, they're getting first overall. They're getting Trevor Lawrence. Fantastic season.
They're not locked into the number 1 pick yet.
Assuming they get first overall, to me, they literally had a top 3 season in football, and arguably
You just listed them as number 6.
No, there's not even listed. There's just one.
But you just went through.
Oh, I know. No, there's no particular
those are
order.
not in order.
These are just the teams. They don't have to win the Super Bowl. They have won, to me, this season as franchises. The San Diego Chargers, if they found their right answer at quarterback,
It feels like such
that's a winning season.
too.
That's a winning season. They jump
Yeah,
10 plus spots in franchise ranking. That's a bigger gain than most of the teams in the league will make.
I should buy a
Winning
commemorative
season.
pennant for the 2020 Jet season. I'll have such more memories
Successful season from a franchise while having a horrible season for the team and the locker room.
of it. Can I bring up some nonsense on this little corner as well?
Well, I was just going to say, I'm excited for Geoff to shave his head.
Oh, that's
Well,
possible.
as am I.
That's the one real thing, actually.
So
That's real.
how would you rate the Charger season if Lynn is retained?
You lose like 80% of the gains and 100% of the hope.
What else?
Right? Is that a fair?
Yeah.
That's a fair. I'm not denying that. 80% of the gains, I think, instantly disappear. I mean, you just still have a little juice because there is a quarterback that seems capable, and 100% of the hope. And all this shit's about, and Tim could probably attest to it, is like without hope, you got nothing. Like that's why I look at Atlanta as like, I don't know. Like, and things can change quickly. You know, they could draft like a Trey Lance, 8th, 9th overall, he becomes a star. Hope instantly happens. Me, like a lot of people, even me, I try to be optimistic.
You try to be optimistic?
Yeah, even when shit's down. Like, you don't know. You think you know me, but you don't know me when they've gone like 1 in 15. How the fuck did you think this year was going to go? With the Chargers, with a rookie quarterback.
We didn't know the rookie.
Well, we didn't know they were
But
going to have
that's what I mean. So if you would just say, like, now here's Fienberg. This is like a test. Like, I don't fucking know. This hasn't happened for me since 2004. A rookie, like having a high profile pick for how much you know I like this team and care and don't want to have to go backwards and do the QB drafting 15 times like Buffalo and Miami. Like you know me well. So how the fuck the people that have been along with us for the ride, what the fuck did they think was going to happen this year?
You're going to put a positive spin on everything like you do every year.
No, but then the fact that he's actually playing good. You think I'd be
They call it the greatest season ever.
If Herbert was getting like fucking nothing?
All I'm going to throw to you is now that there's expectations on them for next year, maybe it's a different situation. When you're playing for nothing, it's easy to look.
Oh, the expectations are going to be horrible.
Yeah, that's not good news.
But
yeah,
hopefully, all I'm
year.
asking for is a coach that you have a moniker of respect for. And
would the moniker be good? Good coach?
Yeah. I assume you respect good coaches, I guess, because some coaches are good men and horrible coaches. And people turning in this whole Lynn thing into other things, which I guess I've done that too. So,
Paul, you were going to say something 20 minutes ago.
No, he said it. It was about the shirt. The Dolphins wish they wore this shirt.
There was
yeah,
more.
Pat, you had an opinion on the shoes, though.
Yeah, the shoes. I don't get the shoes thing. I don't get it whatsoever.
I don't know what to tell you.
Like, it seems like something like a 10-year-old would do.
Okay.
You're almost becoming a Mel DeMarcos.
I don't get.
A what?
Has Tim been talking a lot? Because I haven't heard him for a bit.
I said it's almost like a Mel DeMarcos over there with all those shoes that you're collecting.
I got a lot. And honestly, they just go thrown onto a pile too.
What do you
well, see, again, so you throw it on the pile, but when somebody says something about them, you go, man,
they're so beautiful.
This could pay your mortgage. And then someone says, so what if they could pay my mortgage? And you say, yeah, well, I just looked at your account.
The guy's got like...
Say it. Say it.
No, it wasn't.
Say it.
I didn't
Say
even
it.
know it was.
Say it.
It's like a picture of a book, but it was like Stephen King novels. That was my point.
Sounds like he's now
Is
living rent-free in
Abby's
your
like
head.
Stephen King novels? It's weird.
I like Stephen King novels. They're excellent.
Anyway, the Tualorian, the Tuatrons. I was dumped into Dolphin Twitter, and the craziest of crazies came for me.
They are very, very defensive of Tua, and the lady doth protest too much, right? They're defensive because, in the end, Tua is like a worse version of Mark Brunell.
Well, here's the thing, and I guess a lot of football fans should be hoping this. If you like an AFC team, you should hope they don't hit on Tua. You should hope what?
They haven't.
See, I don't make that claim. I just say he can't make that throw. I don't think he's bad. I wanted him to be good. I wanted him to be a Charger.
He can't roll out to the left and hit a receiver in the back of the end zone. He ain't cut out for the long term.
I don't know what that means. Is that in reference to the throw? You think he can make the throw?
No, I'm saying if he can't make, I think the throw that Herbert made, while a very nice throw, is not like an unachievable throw that most quarterbacks that last for any period of time can make.
You're right, but he simply doesn't have the arm strength to make that throw.
And therefore, he's not going to last that long, is he? That's my point.
No, because he does other things really well.
Like what? Get benched when the going gets tough? Or
there's lots of good. There's
put
lots
up garbage
of,
time points.
He put lots of nice throws on.
Close,
he put lots of nice throws on tape.
The Patriots are going to crush.
He's getting rid of the ball a lot quicker, and there's some nice footwork.
Yeah,
that I'm seeing.
Patriots should win this game comfortably.
Like I don't think he's nothing, but I don't think the ceiling. I don't think is there. Like it's
no, it's not.
It was a guy that was supposed to be tanked for.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all.
That's the thing. He's not a tankable quarterback.
I haven't seen like a guy that like, whoa, like tank for Tua. That was a thing. I don't see it resembling in the play.
Well, he probably just has too much on the go, just living inside your head. He doesn't have the room to go
so
work
busy.
out.
I'm a self-proclaimed mental midget, and you guys are like, lives in my head. Of course, the fuck, I live in my own head. Everything lives in my head. That doesn't insult me.
Well, everybody lives.
You guys got to like work harder to insult me. Living in my head, I live in my head all day. You've seen me mad. I was more mad the other day with the top 3 thing. See, now you're just doing that to get me riling. Or when I made that comment a couple weeks ago, I was exponentially more mad than I was. Like my hands were shaking.
Your hands were just shaking. We have it on camera like 10 minutes ago.
Well, Tim was probably showing the clips and I was waiting to respond. And Tim is really disingenuous because he like holds this thing.
No,
like,
he's actually committing to it. You're trying to play it on all sides so you have an out. Tim's at least all in.
No, I think Herbert will be better than Tua. I don't think Tua's horrible, though. He can't even give Baker Mayfield. We're going to be there in 5 minutes. He can't even give Baker Mayfield credit for last night.
What am I supposed to give him credit for? Leading a team to another big loss like he did in college? Leading a team that has a negative point differential?
Like, it's not even close. There's stuff on Tua. Right. You think it's like just me and out saying Tua likes getting rid of the ball faster?
I don't think Mayfield's very good.
Footwork looked really good against Kansas City. You think that's like just me looking for an out?
Yeah. You're trying to play both sides.
I play both sides on a lot of things.
You're really trying to hammer down to always bring up, oh yeah, I'm playing the other side on this one.
Anyway, the only reason that the slideshow
I don't think he's horrible. I just don't think he's as good as the other guy.
The slideshow was just there to say, listen, I take a lot of heat for the Darnold not having had him first, and because I'm not the only person here. I'm as guilty as everybody else.
No, because I acknowledge it. You're now even when Baker played well, you don't want to give him any success, any credit. That's not fair at all.
Well, he earned some credit. I guess he'll get it, but when he beats a good team, maybe in a
this
spot
will water will all find its level here.
Let's just all agree that Josh Allen was by far the best quarterback in that draft. And
I would agree with Tim.
Last time I'm looking, Lamar Jackson won the MVP.
That's
so
fine.
I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson.
We'll see
equal amount of.
And you know what the thing about here's the thing about Josh Allen and Justin Herbert is they were 2 guys that were going to be really high picks had they come out the year earlier. And went back to school, stayed, kind of fell a little in their like what we now think of them. And I mean, how Allen's the effing man. Can only hope Herbert can be like a quarter of the Josh Allen I'm seeing on TV right now. And also to it, It was used as a criticism, I swear to God, 7-8 months ago. I swear to you. The pro comp to Herbert was Allen, and people use that as a negative on Herbert, which is pretty funny.
At that time, Allen had a completion percentage of like 14%.
You still don't want to give him credit, probably.
No, he's playing great. He's playing great. The guy's playing great, and he's going to go to his second straight playoffs, and good for him. He's after Jackson, he's the second best quarterback in that draft.
You know what? I'm not even kidding. I pray to God I hope they're fine, because if Tua's not fine and good, I worry for some of those people.
Well, yeah, they're gonna have to change their Twitter handle from.
I don't know, man.
They'll have to change their Twitter handle to a rage to something else.
It's all. Yeah, trust me. You go.
Dolphins Reddit was great.
Go for
on
like
Sunday. After their loss.
Go for a deep spin.
I really think that the Dolphins are in a good position here. Dolphins fans in particular, because you got Jets fans on Dolphins Reddit trying to bask in their sorrows. You're hoping that they're just going.
Who's on? What Jets fans are?
Him.
You read other teams' Reddits?
Absolutely. Dolphins, Patriots, and Bills. After
so was I actually in there last night? Like, where did I get this track? How did I get steamed through Dolphin?
Because people probably searched Tua and found you.
No, this thing was getting.
See your name. I did not see your name, Geoff. I will tell you. If I did, I would have alerted you.
Did you post him in the Reddit? Is that?
Yeah. Is that how I got in there?
Wow.
No. I would admit if I did that. No, I didn't. But no,
I swear on my life. I swear on Justin Herbert's ACL. I swear on my children. I have never been on a team message board in my life. The only thing that could affiliate with something like that, the closest thing I'd ever even come close to, would be being in my Athletic Writers live chat. But that's behind a paywall, and there's some level of sanity there.
I go to Bills or Jets.
That's crazy.
Bills or Patriots.
Chargers Reddit, like I said, never been there in my life. The concept of going to like Raiders Reddit is the weirdest thing on earth.
After a bad loss, I can't wait to go through Dolphins Reddit or Patriots Reddit. It makes me feel so happy.
Hold on. So Tim brought this up a few weeks ago in our chat, because we have a Dolphins friend in our chat. Very excited. The Dolphins are like, okay. He has no expectations for this team. He's like, I'm happy they're going to make the playoffs. They all
think they're going to the Super Bowl.
No, this is what Tim brings up. He's like, every Dolphins fan thinks they're going to win the Super Bowl with Tua. No, but apparently he saw someone write it on Dolphins Reddit, so he thinks every Dolphins fan is thinking this. This is who you're becoming. Just letting you know.
No, I've never been to Reddit.
No, it's not the going to Reddit. It's all the same. It's all the same world.
Hold on.
It's all in the same
Let me
world.
make a clarification. Because I do, even like my friend, I have a lot of close friends, they were just having a hoot and like an LOL yesterday. And they don't even disagree with what I said, to be perfectly honest. And yeah, so there's that. But I agree. I just dealt with the craziest level of the fan base. I'm not saying everyone in the fan base is that crazy. Clarify that. I just got hit with the crazies. I know I have tons of Dolphin fans that watch every second. I know tons of Dolphin fans that watch every second of every game. They don't even know how to find the message boards.
Are they Tim? If Tim can find the message boards, I'm
just saying like they could care.
Just to see the people wail and cry about
but how are you?
Bad
it's such
breaks they got, and what a tough loss it was. And well, I guess it's kind of a
but it's literally like an extreme. Like you're going to like extremists.
Yeah, it's like Tim calling out the Patriots last week because they had to play. They got the league gave them such a break when they played back-to-back games on the West Coast, which the Jets are doing this week, by the way. Tim would never bring that. The
Jets aren't playing a short game. The Jets aren't playing on Thursday.
It's like religion. It's like, yeah, we're all Jews, but I'm not those guys that are fucking with a sheet in the middle of us.
Oh, really? It's too bad. Here, that's the best.
Like they're crazy. Like I'm just saying. Like yeah, okay. I guess we're all like on the same team, but no, we're on like very different levels of the team. I don't know. I don't know, Tim. Like to go to want to see what the craziest fans are saying. Yeah, I agree. I invited a lot of it on myself. I wasn't expecting it because I've done it a lot and never got. That was like supposed to be like, oh, they're even taking shots at like golf. Fuck it, golf's for like, dude. I got like, what the hell? I'm a virgin now.
That sucks. Who's the father of your kids?
There's a lot of things going on since oh my God, I'll never do that again.
Yes, you will.
Yeah, you definitely will.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
You're like Tim. You're addicted to the Menchies.
No. Oh, are you kidding? I didn't even have the phone was gone yesterday.
Shadow reading it from your burner account. You're turning into Tim.
I couldn't even keep up. Couldn't even keep up.
So back to this game.
The
Dolphins are favored by 2. I like the Dolphins in this game.
Yeah, give me the Dolphins. That's me also playing both sides, right?
Correct.
So I could come back and say I picked the Dolphins.
Well, you need to say things like, well, I'm actually kind of surprised that you didn't take the Patriots because if the Patriots were so good that they beat the Chargers, then of course
it doesn't work like that. Brian Flores, the first time around, I think the Patriots are horrendous, which is why I think the Chargers lost.
You guys both picked the Patriots last week against the Rams.
Yeah, I thought I liked an extra point. I don't know. I went 10-6 last week. You want me to pick a game you got wrong? I don't know.
Hey, that was my super luck. I told you the Rams were not going to lose that game.
I should have listened. It was just the Tuesday early. By
you hate to see it. Really hate to see it.
Another team I'm dead wrong about this year, the Rams. I'm going to lose a win total bet.
Well, are they at 9
I'm not
yet?
pretending that doesn't happen. They're going to get there if they're not.
Yeah, they're at 9-4. They're at 9-4 right
So
now.
maybe the books already
now they
graded it.
No, it was 9.5, wasn't it?
I might have taken, you know what? I think I took really plus, I think I took it at an 8 to get plus money alt line because I was down on them.
Well, they're going to win this week too.
And McVay is amazing.
Patriots come off the mini bye. Patriots come off the mini bye. The Dolphins played a tough game against a team that's much better than them. They sort of played their best that they can, I guess. And they lost. So I like the Patriots here. The thing I forgot to mention was I discovered this new thing called swipe typing. I
told you about swipe typing.
Awesome at swipe typing.
I am so good at the swipe type.
You're better at other people than other people.
I can't believe how good. I'm not naturally adept to technological things. I am legit awesome at it.
You're not better at it than anybody.
Also, it's not like swipe texting is new.
It's new to me.
Just like Control X?
Yes, similarly. I'm good at it.
Really also, good. I bought Tim a Christmas gift. I bought him a stand for his cell phone. He's in.
It is so cool. It's like space age aluminum colored. And if you want to watch, I like to watch history videos on YouTube or whatever, biographies or history things. And you don't want to just hold it in your hand for 20, 30, 40 minutes. So to be able to put it on this thing while you're cooking or doing whatever is so convenient. It is such a practical and great gift.
I thought you would enjoy a practical gift.
Well, I do. It was very, very practical.
It saves you hand trauma as well.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling that carpal tunnel.
Yeah, that's why I'm
actually feeling some things.
I got the new iPhone. I previously had the iPhone 10, but I had the big one. I have little carny hands, too big for my hands. Really stretching out my sheath.
What were we just talking about? I think this is going to be a really Dolphins win 13-9. We're still talking about that game, or
the teams have alternated covers each of their past 7 games. So Patriots covered earlier this year. Dolphins going to cover right now. How well do the Patriots play in Miami, Tim?
Historically, very poorly, but that was Tom Brady, and that was a different team.
And now they're significantly worse.
Here's the thing: Flores is
I really want the Patriots to win here.
Flores is so good that they'll set Tua up to not be exploited in ways.
Someone as one-dimensional as Tua is going to be so exploited by Belichick. I'm sorry. You give him 10 days to scheme for that.
They've got injury problems, and I guess
with wide receivers you've never heard of and running backs that they're pulling out of the stands. I'm sorry. I don't think the Dolphins have much of a chance in this game. I mean, they're also on. The Patriots are on the money line parlay because of it.
Oh, perfect news.
I don't think the Dolphins ought to be favored in the ball game.
Well, he's such a weird better. -400, -345,
+112.
You should just bet the Patriots and then as its own bet, then make a parlay with these other games to even money or whatever it gets to.
It works for me.
No, it doesn't actually. The records show.
Did the Dolphins defense, how are the Patriots going to score points? Maybe Damian Harris has a gigantic game here, but it's not like Tua's a turnover machine. If he was, then maybe the Patriots defense can set them up on short fields. The Patriots offense looks so bad. The Dolphins defense is legit good.
Number 1 scoring defense, right?
They generate a ton of turnovers. Even against Mahomes, they were able to do it.
Great. It's going to the Super Bowl. I know. I read over this all the time. I know.
I do.
So good.
And the one thing I was impressed with Tua in the Chiefs game is that they've deployed him, because Flores is a good coach, obviously, that they deployed him properly. You say game manager, but it's like, at the same time, what more does he really need to do?
Nothing. Defense is great.
And when they fell way behind in that game, when the Chiefs scored like 21 points in 10 seconds, he played pretty well. Threw the ball down the field pretty well, put it on point pretty well. I thought he was pretty good in what Tim calls garbage time to make the game seem close. You can call it that way too, but everyone was living in a world where that was impossible for him to do. But he was able to throw the ball down the field to fucking Mac Hollins.
Yeah. And you want to know something funny? The person who told me what they told me also put out a very nice package on Tua's very nice throws yesterday, because it's not like they didn't exist.
So you just have to look for them.
I like the Dolphins.
Pardon?
You just have to look for them.
Sometimes you do. But whatever. I agree there have been way too many games and not enough like wow, but at the same time, we're still like in this 2020.
And they're playing to win games too.
That's my point. They're playing to win games. We're still in 2020 where, to me, everyone, especially rookie quarterbacks, get graded on a curve. He's now playing in an important December football game. Herbert's going to play in glorified preseason game 14 or 15, right?
Yeah.
So that's a note. Like, that is the reality of the situation. To me, the Chargers season that I do deem a success.
Who has a better season? The Titans or the Chargers?
Depends what happens for the Titans in the playoffs.
I think it's the Titans either way, because they're still going to be good next year too.
Okay.
There are a few, and they pick in the draft, and like 24th or something. They need defense.
Probably pretty similar for a team that's probably going to win a playoff game in a division compared to a team that's going to win last place.
I think I would rather be the Titans in this situation.
Maybe.
They seem closer.
But I don't know. They 100% closer, but they still might have some real significant flaws.
Those seem to be flaws that you can find answers to, though.
Correct.
Without going through the draft necessarily.
Correct, but they're still banking on, it's like a perfect scenario that needs to work for them. And I'm anticipating, I don't know, they could lose their coordinator. But yeah, I don't know. Titans had a fine season. Pay running back a lot of money, but he's the best.
Jets and Rams. The Rams are 16.5-point favorites, Tim. Your guys.
Terrible.
Or are you going to take the
This
Jets?
game's on. We keep playing 5:00 games for some reason. I guess because they don't want anyone distracting from the Chiefs and Saints. What a terrible game. We got nothing. This team is just the worst. The numbers show it that they're one of the all-time worst teams. Firing the defensive coordinator resulted in 40 points the next week. So I guess that's fixed, right?
So
Job, boys.
That's what happens with the Raiders.
We score 3 or fewer points way too often. This just keeps happening, and it doesn't stop happening. Everything. I mean, Sam gave such a sad press conference the other day where he's like, I want to be a Jet for life. And like, I almost wanted to cry because I was like, I would have loved that to be the case too.
You cried week 1.
It's not your fault because we ruined you. It's not your fault. It's our fault that we haven't been able to capitalize on the supreme God-given talents that you have. We have squandered them. And so we are now fated to watch you go to Pittsburgh or Indianapolis or Chicago and thrive and have a good career. And I wish you well because you deserve it, because you're really good. You're still only 23. And we have done everything we can to submarine and destroy your season. And for you to stand there at the podium, knowing that it's all going to end and still say, I wanted to be a Jet for life, just shows a gentlemanly ability to say the right thing at the right time. And I found that to be very touching.
Well, when you're not good and all you have is goodwill that you're trying to churn up for yourself, I mean, it's pretty easy to be gracious when you can't win a game. You know where Darnold goes? The Saints.
It could be fruitful. It could be very fruitful. I think he would
that.
thrive there and quickly. In this game, like I said earlier, I sort of gave the thought that I think the Rams are the most balanced team in the NFC. Doesn't mean they're the best, and it doesn't mean that I think they're going to win the NFC. But I think the Rams are very balanced. The Rams should have no difficulty covering the number and dispatching the Jets. Let's take the Rams here.
Yeah, Rams beat bad teams all the time. They are 6-2 against the spread as a double-digit favorite. The Jets are 0-3 against the spread as a double-digit underdog so far this year. Sneaky one here. Unders in Rams home games this year, 6-0.
And we don't score.
And the under is hitting 10 of the past 12 Rams home games. This
could be a super lock.
You're going to super lock in a 16.5?
Potentially. It's on the
short list. That's a lot of chalk.
I'm not going to bet this game unless I bet the under 44.5, just because there's no chance in hell I'm betting 16 minus 16.5, but I'll take the Rams.
The Rams are gonna be up at the halftime, and they're gonna increase on the lead in the second half. I'm gonna have the Rams.
All right. Philly and Arizona. Philly's back. They got Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders on the go. They're 6.5-point dogs in the desert. 48.5 is the over/under.
The Cards are back too.
The Cards are back. Kyler looks healthy again. That's good news for the Cardinals' chances. You had a chance, Tim, to get back square in that bet. The Lions versus Cardinals win total bet, and it kind of went sideways on you last week.
Very aware. I mean, that was tough. I mean, they were going up against the Lions were going up against the Packers. That was a tough draw. Throwing away that game on Thanksgiving was sort of the day I knew it was going to end. So, be that as it may.
Is Jalen Hurts good?
I have no idea, but I don't like this Eagles team, and I refuse to pick them. I said to myself, I'd pick this game at 7 or less. It's less than 7. Ipso facto. Therefore, I will take the Cardinals in this game. Just to play against Philadelphia. Yeah, they played well for a half, the first half against the Saints, and that was enough to hang on against a team which I was pilloried for criticizing 3 weeks ago, and they haven't played a good game since. But anyway.
They covered 2 double-digit spreads in that time, by the way.
They played one game that barely counts as a game because the Broncos had to play a backup quarterback, a fifth-string quarterback, and then they got very lucky to eke by the Falcons last week. And now this week, they got beaten by Philadelphia of all teams. My goodness, how shameful. Anyway, I'm gonna play the Cardinals here. The Cardinals, I'm hoping they make the playoffs because they would make the playoffs far more fun than Minnesota or San Francisco or Chicago. So, other than just, I thought the Cardinals looked rejuvenated again. I don't think the Eagles have an answer for Hopkins and what the Cards want to do deep. So, I think it's the Eagles are DOA.
The Giants really gave that game to the Cardinals last week. Like, they played Daniel Jones, who couldn't move.
Yeah, that was disappointing, wasn't it?
Felt like they really should have been in that game because the Cardinals weren't very good, despite winning by a bunch of, what did they win, 26-3, 23-6, something like that.
7, something like that, yeah.
I think Philadelphia can cover this. I think Hurts is a real problem.
I like it.
And he plays the type of game that covers spreads. Like when we kept backing Lamar his first season. Like if he's going to run the ball, and that's how they're going to extend the play, run the clock.
First down, moving.
Just keep everything going down. And the Cardinals haven't been impressive. Yeah. I'll take Philadelphia.
I'm taking Philly too.
I don't hate Philly on the money line here either.
Really?
Yeah. I think they could beat the Cardinals aren't good.
Cardinals are a bit
the
over.
Definition of okay this year.
No, they're overrated. They might be the most overrated team in the league. There was a lot of talk of it like being Pittsburgh because they just didn't look the part of an undefeated team. But to me, true to form, the Cardinals were because they just, the fun, sexy quarterback and the amazing receiver.
After Dak, Kyler Murray has the most fantasy points of any quarterback because he does everything.
And for obvious reasons, I don't even mean that. I don't mean they're bad. That's the funny thing with overrated. People assume when you say something's overrated,
they're the quintessential 500 team.
And they got to play that Sunday night game against Seattle where they had a big comeback to beat Seattle when the whole world thought Seattle was the best team of football.
And then they had the Hail Mary win over the Bills that everyone got to see.
Yep.
But between that, they lost to Miami at home because they had that great Seattle win over Seattle, and then they went on bye. So this like myth of them being really good really kind of like grew. And then they had the Buffalo game, and then the Miami game, and then the Buffalo game that they're lucky to win, but because of how it happened, it kind of like pushed up the perception of how good they are.
Yeah, and they get the win in that game, and when people look back on it, they don't necessarily forget that it was a last-second Hail Mary. They just say, oh, they beat Buffalo. Buffalo's good. Like, they have some wins over good teams.
Yeah.
The Patriots ground them down, though, next week.
Yeah, in New England.
Yeah. So
next week.
The next week.
So it's hard to say how this will go. This is me to play against the Eagles. I didn't see enough last week for me to be willing to back the Eagles yet. I've been against them for most of this year because they look like trash. And I'm still convinced that that team has got more flaws than it has bright spots. And that the Cards at home should get this done by less than a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm just not. Cliff Kingsbury I forget who
he's
said
not good.
It.
He's not good.
He's a fake sharp.
Yeah, he's not
Tim
good.
or me who said that?
Someone said
it. Wasn't me. It wasn't me.
I saw someone say that. I wish I could give the credit to it. I thought that was just a really good take. Maybe it was Levitan who said it.
He's like he's Sean McVay's sexy friend.
Yeah.
He's the guy who sits down at the poker table and cracks his knuckles and then doesn't know if a flush beats a straight.
Yeah, he has the gear. He has the sunglasses on. He's dressed like fucking Greg Raymer.
Yeah, but he doesn't know whether
He's the Fossilman.
Full House is that Full House actually going to beat that flush or what?
Yeah, he has the rule. He's the guy at the blackjack table who asks for the card of what you should do when a 6 comes. Do I double this? I don't know. The card guy. So yeah, Philly for all of us except for Tim. Kansas City and New Orleans, game of the week. We're not getting Breeze back, right?
Doubt it.
Nope.
But New Orleans still, after opening as a 4-point underdog, now only a 2.5-point underdog at home. 50.5 is the over-under.
I don't get that.
Well, because the Chiefs have lost 5 straight games against the spread.
I get it. I get that part, but like this is an indoor fast track. Couldn't be better for a Kansas City team.
Should have saw this with New Orleans last week. Big time look ahead spot.
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, they've been dying
versus
to
the Chiefs.
It's not prime time. It's America's game of the week.
Yeah, they've been dying to lose a game for the
we've
last month.
We've had 6-7 games at 3:00 for the last couple of weeks, and because the Chiefs are playing the Saints, we get cut in half again.
Yeah.
Good. Thank God.
My gut tells me to take New Orleans, but I can't do it. They're just not as good as the Chiefs.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
But the Chiefs the Chiefs seem like they are dying to bleed a game. Like you said, it looked like the Saints really wanted to lose, Tim. It seems like the Chiefs are trying to lose games, but can't do it.
Yeah, but they're too good, and they zoop mode in the fourth quarter, and it's not even like there's a number to cover here.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
That's the thing. They're just probably going to just win the game. I expect the Saints to get theirs. Maybe we'll have an entertaining game. In the end, zoop. I think they put the Steelers have lost back-to-back. This is time where they can just take care of business now. And then
who's not taking the Chiefs in this game, though? I guess is my question.
The line dropped.
It did, but maybe they're just sucking everyone in.
Well, it's probably the sharp guys that now have the Saints 4 and the Chiefs at this and are just playing for the 3-point Chiefs win.
Looking at the Chiefs schedule, I think the Chiefs maybe could give away a game next week.
Who do they have next week?
They play the Falcons next week.
I'm worried they're going to lock it up and they're just going to give us a win week 17 that I don't want.
Yeah, but you could get to the 11th.
It was going to help Lynn get a win.
Yeah, but you get to the 11th pick. That's what you should be trying to do.
Here's the thing about the draft.
That you want the 11th pick. I've heard it's the second best pick in the draft.
I do flip-flop on it because I do like the picks, but because it's Herbert and a rookie, ideally I would like to see him play well. I'd like to win one of the final 3 games, so I push our bet. Because 6 wins, I'm worried Lynn keeps his job. I'll cry and all.
You know what? I will happily pay you if they hit the over on our bet. Happily, because Lynn keeps his job if you hit the over.
Then I lose hope, and then I'm gonna bawl like a baby. If I have no hope, because this only thing's about hope. If you have no hope, you got nothing. It's all like next year is hope. But I want all those. With the rookie, you kind of would like to get a good feeling coming home. And if the Chiefs have it locked up, they could probably sit everybody week 17.
The only way to beat the Chiefs
is when they're sitting everybody week 17.
Is what Oakland did with them, which is let's boat race and hope I get the last possession and beat you that way. It worked out in the first game. It didn't work out in the second. The Patriots, when they beat the Chiefs in the past, that's how they beat them too. We just need to have that last possession. Let's go toe for toe and hope that we don't make the crippling mistake.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
I don't think with Taysom Hill, they do not have that ability. Honest to heavens, if they were to play Winston in this game, I I would take New Orleans to win the game. But they are not, and therefore I am taking the Chiefs.
Yeah, so it's a round of Chiefs.
Derwin James got COVID?
Jeez. Poor guy. Catches everything. Catches all the bad breaks.
Oh, more guys, though. Ruggs on COVID?
Henry Ruggs?
Yeah.
Is this all just like breaking right now?
40 minutes ago.
Well, that'd be during the course of the show. Although they lost, I thought that was the best game Taysom Hill played.
Agreed.
I thought he actually looked like a real quarterback, which kind of worked against what they should have been doing. Like, they didn't have a designed run for him in the first half for some reason. Like, if you're going to play Taysom Hill as your quarterback, play up that you're playing Taysom Hill as your quarterback. Don't make him a 5-step drop quarterback. Let him run. That's part of the gimmick, isn't it?
I agree.
100%. It's almost like you're abiding by that. We'll just milk some clock, get 4 yards of play, 3.5 yards of play, 5 yards of play, use first down, second down, third down. We're fine. Even fourth down. Like once we cross
it's like
a certain point. And it seems like it's so easy for them to execute under that way. The same way that I think the Eagles are live this week for that same reason.
It struck me as really weird. It's like in the first half, they had the Drew Brees playbook in. Like, here, do this. It's like, okay, let's try it. He's not Drew Brees, so it's a bit more difficult.
That's why I didn't like Herbert had the Phillip Rivers 30 blood dump playbook in.
His yards per attempt have gone way down over the past month.
Well, he completed 30 passes for 5 yards yesterday, and he didn't have a really good game the day before. Or the week before, right? That was the Patriots game.
Yep. And then the Bills game before that.
Yeah, way to come out of Pearl Harbor like a champ, Lynn. Fucking doofus.
Sunday evening, Tim's Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
4.5-point favorites on the road against the Giants. 45.5 is the over-under. Here's the thing. Take the Giants on the road. Don't take them at home. I'm taking Cleveland, who beats up on bad teams. The Giants are fine compared in the AFC or the NFC East against the rest of the league. They are not good. So
I'm just
give me the Browns.
I'm going to go back here and say no, because unlike Tim, like, yeah, I want a certain outcome. But when I'm wrong, I admit I'm wrong. And Tim is like unable to take an L as it pertains to Mayfield versus Darnold is so fucked up. When it is time for me to take the L, you better believe I take the L.
I didn't know Baker Mayfield could throw the ball 75 yards in the air.
That's great. He was great. And since week 3 or 4, even it was a game they lost. I don't even remember the game. But I said, I saw something in Baker today.
A lot of them.
And there's a leadership switch that I think has kind of changed there. And then, it's been changing. And then I got kind of annoyed with the celebrations, I think last week and you're like, you pointed out, no, that's he's just he's sort of selling himself as he's all in with the guys. And I buy it. And I don't know why Tim is so anti-Baker, because Baker went off the board before he had a chance to pick.
Listen, I'll be the first to admit, well, maybe not the first, but I will admit that obviously Baker's having a better career than Darnold's had. That you'd have to be foolish not to say that. It's another to say this Browns team is a totally fluky. No one should dispute that. They have more points against than points for. Their advanced numbers have them as a bottom tier team in the NFL. This team is not nearly as good as their record indicates. And last night was a prime example of it, that they could not play defense. They couldn't take care of business. They were sloppy, and they got beat at home in a game where if you're as good as the Browns think they are, and you're going to do something the way that you don't lose that game. But they did, because they can't beat the good teams in their division because they're a second order franchise. I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm beginning to believe that next week when they play the Jets, that the same way that the Browns ended their winless streak against us, we're going to end our winless streak against them. I'm beginning to think that's where we're going. So get that Bud Light fridge ready and bring it to Gotham for next week, because we get to have it in week 16 and celebrate our win with it. That's what would be fair to the people at Bud Light. If you want to, be fair to both these franchises, that's what you should do. And anyway, I don't want to make this about the Jets. I'm not going to. This Browns team I think they'll win and cover this game, because, like you said, the Giants are not very good, and the Browns. When
the 0-14 Chargers go led by Justin Herbert on his last legs as we're walking into another top pick, go into Miami to play the in playoff position contention Miami Dolphins. God help me if I am where you are. God help me if I am where you are.
I like that.
And I love
Tim rails against the Bud Light thing. Oh, it's so tacky. Who would ever want that? Now he wants it.
He demands equal treatment. It's like the political parties. They get equal timeshare of commercials. You have to offer it up.
But the free Bud Light.
I don't know if the camera caught it. My face was glowing like a Christmas tree as you were talking there, Tim, because I knew it sensed. I'm sure the entire audience sensed exactly where you were going. That you were pretty much skipping by breaking down this game to call the Jets victory next week.
It's happening. It's happening. I know in my gut that it's happening.
I'm so happy.
What if they win this week?
They're not going to. They're going to get their doors blown off this week. But the whole world is going to be on the Browns after a win this week in prime time, because that's what's going to happen. And I said the Browns to cover. And we are going to go in there and we're going to finally get that win. Sam will have his goodbye victory with the Jets, and we'll get the win, and it won't be 0-16, and it'll be against the Browns. And I can't wait to go on Browns Reddit afterwards and just see all the seething, upset, commentators in there about how could we lose this game to the Jets? How could we be this team? Because turnaround is fair play. I had to read all kinds of articles when you guys broke your streak against us, and how embarrassing it must be for the Jets. Not talking about how it was a Thursday night game when they switched their quarterback halfway through and we didn't have time to prepare, and no one gave us any benefit of the doubt at all. So I can't wait until it's my turn. This game has been circled on my calendar for a while, and I've been playing my cards pretty close to my chest on this one, but I can't wait no more. I can't wait till we get them next week, and we'll see how great Broadway Baker does when he and his team take a absolutely crippling loss in Gotham City, and we send him back to Cleveland, where he can go.
Sorry, did you just break down next week's game or this week's game? Because they're playing in New York, same place. I'm confused.
Next week's game. I think they cover and win this week's game. I as much as I like the Giants in that division, I think they're better than Washington. I just think beat Washington.
Can we put the Jets next week on your teaser, on your bet?
Yeah, can you just add that on?
Let's just add it for shits and giggles.
I'll give you.
Well, why don't you add it onto this one?
It'll go on next week's teaser. Next week's Sunday teaser. It'll go on next week's teaser.
I
can't believe Christmas is like a week away.
It's so weird.
It does not seem like Christmas is a week away.
It's all a blur. Same shit, different day.
So Cleveland for the three of us, Giants for the coin.
Yeah, I am worried about picking the Browns this week in that maybe this is unfair, but in how that game happened, and as you mentioned, like how Tim can't do it, but I can do it. I thought Baker played great. People are like, oh, same old Browns can't, like their second fiddle. No. The Ravens are a good team, and they showed they're this close to being able to beat them. Baker didn't get sacked one time in all those dropbacks. As someone who needed Ravens defense, I noticed that all night.
They scored in the minus
in a fantasy. Yeah, I'm so impressed. Now, do you remember a couple weeks ago? Maybe this is an unfair comparison when the Raiders played so well versus the Chiefs, and then it went to the net and lost, and then it went to the spread the next week, and they just lost to Atlanta. And everyone loved losing to the Chiefs felt like a win from the gambler perspective. I'm not calling the Ravens the Chiefs. I clearly learned in week 3 that there's a huge gap there, but that was a win last night, a loss last night.
People are treating
that felt like a win in a lot of a gambling.
That's Baker Mayfield's whole career. Is getting the benefit of losses. This is that Rose Bowl with Georgia and Oklahoma all over again.
I'm going to give him credit because he played a great game. What do you mean?
He plays such great games and he loses all the big ones, but he's so good. I'm sorry.
Here's the thing. Then over his hit in 3 straight games for the Browns. The under is 5-2-1 when the Giants cover games. And I think I'm going to take the Browns to score all the points in this game. Daniel Jones can't do shit. He can't move. Like, the guy's legit hurt, and they're still playing him for reasons unknown.
And it was great last night to see Vernon carry. Like, it's great to see a compliment beside Myles Garrett. And, yeah, I mean, like, what they still gave up 40, to lose the game. But I'm really liking what I'm seeing.
It's one thing to stop
in
Lamar
Cleveland. Are you
and
worried?
Edwards and J.K. Dobbins on the ground instead of Gulmania, who may or may not be running wild
And
all over.
another part of this, I mentioned that I feel like the public will be loving Cleveland here, especially in primetime. I'm now deeply afraid, Pat, that this is a look-ahead spot for the Browns with their big game versus the Jets next week.
Yeah, it's real funny. Well, they better not look ahead because they play the Steelers in week 17. Talk about look ahead games.
So it might be a look ahead game against the Jets.
Another instance why we are going to knock them out.
What do you think the line is going to be there?
Is it in Cleveland or New York?
Yeah, it's in New York. I would say probably Browns by 9.
That seems fair. I'd take the 9. Like -9.
I can't wait for next week already.
Is it a Thursday night game? Oh, yeah, there's no more. Is it a Saturday game?
No, it's a regular Sunday game.
No, all right.
I want the Jets to win and carry their kicker off the field.
Was that their last win?
I think so.
We won week 17 against Buffalo in a meaningless game.
When Buffalo sat Allen.
Correct.
They played Matt Barkley.
It's so funny to think of Buffalo just quickly.
Is Matt Barkley the best Barkley of the New York teams?
Took me a second there. Probably not. I don't know.
Pittsburgh and Cincy, Monday night?
Ugh.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Wow.
Maybe Joe Burrow comes back for the game. Oh, yes, Paul.
Out of fairness, I feel like I was making this in the background here. Got to add this for the kid, right?
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Just out of fairness for what we did earlier.
Just like Mina.
Rent-free,
unbiased.
Baker Mayfield, living in Tim's dreams, nightmares.
I promise the people, I will take my L. I feel like I'm pretty good at that.
Tim never will. He'll come on demand credit.
Tim started today. He was hot fire and eating Diet Coke credit, and he was sitting on that. He's been sitting on that Jets Brown game. It feels like for a month to want to explode and talk about it.
Did you know that Tim was telling us that he's not addicted to Diet Coke? So what happens if you're an addict, right? It doesn't mean you're necessarily just addicted to one thing. You can become addicted to a lot of things. So we say he's cutting down on Diet Coke. What does Tim text us a picture of this weekend? Him back on the Lotto scratch tickets.
It was just one.
He was one letter away from winning $50,000 on his crossword.
It was so close.
Ticket.
It was a Christmas scratcher, and you get to scratch the letters, and it's like the crossword ones I like. And I saw it, and I was buying DC and some cigs at the gas station. And I saw it, and I was like, I kind of want to play this now because it'll be gone in a couple of weeks. And I was so close to a big score. I needed one letter, needed an O or an I, and I would have made big money. And but I'm not addicted to it. It's been the first time I've done a scratcher in quite a while.
The majority of your DCs, do you buy on the road?
No, not the majority. No,
but you do buy a lot on the road.
I buy a fair decent amount on the road. If I'm going out somewhere, I'll buy them. But anyway, I have cut back significantly in the last couple of weeks, and so I
gone from 12 to 8.
No, 1 or 2 a day max.
But you're having one in the morning.
Well, not every morning, or sometimes in the middle of the night.
I don't buy
sometimes in the middle of the night.
He's cracked one on this show.
Hold on.
The one you cracked on this show, what number was that today?
That was number 2.
There'll be one with... No.
Here's all you need to know about Tim and his addiction to Diet Coke. He wakes up in the middle of the night sometimes and goes and chugs a Diet Coke.
Way.
Tim?
It happens occasionally. If my water jug is empty or I need to save a little bit of water in there and I'm thirsty at 3 a.m., have I cracked a DC and downed it? Yes, I have. Of course I have. I'm sure we'd all be in that circumstance if you're dry and you're thirsty.
Yeah, I wake up in the middle of the night. I had a few glasses. I had a few glasses.
Sink.
Yeah, I didn't even do that. I just fucking turn on the faucet and stick my head underneath of it.
Yeah.
What kind of
crazy? I could never do that.
It's too civilized.
Oh, come on. There is no better water in the world than I have a dry throat at 3:30 a.m. bathroom, cold water, turn on the tap and stick your head under. Especially if you wake up and you're already hungover. It's still not quite the morning yet. That is essential drinking.
Anyway, I've cut down between 1, 2, 3, 4 DCs a day. and that's a cutback. And I think I deserve some credit.
I'll give you credit if you've gone from 10 to 4. If you've gone from 10 to 4, I'm giving you credit.
I have, and to see these like DCs have them in the morning, it felt like I was validated. It validated my decision. It's like it's okay to do this. It's not. You
realize that having like one a day is really bad for you, right?
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not really bad for you.
It is. Having soda every day is bad for you. Really bad.
Oh, there are so many worse things.
Yeah, you're right. And you do all of them.
No, I don't. I don't drink.
You do drink.
Soda.
Very, very infrequently.
You smoke a pack a day. You eat at McDonald's twice a day or whatever it is.
I haven't been to McDonald's in... Okay. So before the
when
other
did you
day...
go?
Before the other day, I hadn't been to McDonald's
in a week.
In like 2 weeks.
A week.
Because
last week we spoke, you were hitting up, they still had the 2 for 5, and you admitted you'd been.
Yeah, right. I kind of even don't think of morning McDonald's as going to McDonald's. You know what I mean? It's like not going to McDonald's. It doesn't count. Like if you're not getting a hamburger or a McChicken, is like I'm not really going. But you're right. I guess I did actually.
Addict justification behavior.
That's healthy. That's healthy, McDonald's.
Yeah, that's a good stuff.
I don't even, when I bet those EPL games at 9 a.m. on a Saturday, I don't have a clue. That doesn't count as the bets that I
make. Real gambling. That's just fun.
Those aren't the bets I'm making.
I suppose that does sound silly, but you're right. I guess I don't consider like a morning trip to McDonald's going to McDonald's, even though of course it obviously is. I guess in my way my head
I do
works,
agree, like if you're not eating a McDonald's French fry, it probably feels like an unofficial McDonald's trip.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I feel about it.
As much as that's what an addict, a fat person, that's what I would like. Anything to get, you know what I mean? Anything to convince myself.
That you're not eating poorly. Yeah, this wasn't fast food. I just ate at McDonald's 3 times before noon. It's fine.
Anyway, in the last month, I probably haven't been to McDonald's more than 3 or 4 times.
Lie.
Yeah, it's a lie. You talked about going 5 days in a row at one point.
That was back in like
November.
October.
That was in November because that new deal started right after the monopoly ended, which was in November.
And it's still going on.
Yeah, I saw the ad for it yesterday, so it is still going on. I don't know, man. I didn't go, but I went yesterday. But anyway, I went. Yeah, that's why I stopped myself.
He's lying to us about when he's going.
I don't know. Like it feels like I had. Listen, when you go every day for a month and then you don't go every day anymore, it feels like you're not even going anymore.
I agree.
If that makes any sense.
I know that does make sense. I do agree. Like a month, a week, 5 days feels like 3 weeks.
You need to spin this into something positive in your life, like going to the gym, for example. Go to the gym like 7 days in a row. Then when you go like only 4 days the next week, you're like, oh, I feel like I'm not going to the gym a lot. And that way you can become healthier.
See, I always do things bad, but that's a good point to
spin it the other way.
Yeah.
That's how I used to run. I used to try to run in bulk as much as I could. And then when I would be like lax and only go like, 2 times a week or 3 times a week, I feel like I'd be doing something positive. I can't do anything now, as Tim alluded to earlier. I don't know if it was on the show or not. I am so hopped up on back medication, it's unfathomable right now.
I didn't bring it up on the show. I didn't know if you really wanted to talk about it.
So I had mentioned that because I didn't go to do the show on Monday because I couldn't walk.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're able to walk at least.
Yes, I lose my train of thought a lot, though. These drugs are
I've seen you with back pain in the past, so I know it, and it's not good.
No, apparently it's my kid's fault, according to the doctor. So, them squirmy kids.
It's still not as bad. I mean, when you chunked that 7-iron that day, and I just watched the vibrations go through your body, it wasn't good.
This pain is the worst pain I've ever experienced.
It's the worst. Crippling.
It's been much worse than any other time I've thrown out my back.
Jeez.
It's
terrible.
I'm telling you, man, I got a son who's less than 2 years old. He weighs 40 pounds.
Oh.
And all he does is wiggle when I pick him up. It's not great. I don't get how he's so big. I'm little. My wife is little. 2 giant fucking kids. Maybe she's cheating on me with someone who's big. Tim, you're big. Have you been sleeping with my wife? You better not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if he truly comes out like a brick shit house, you could inspect that. Because you and your wife aren't big.
No, we are not. Although my grandfather and my uncle are both very tall.
So your uncle's is larger than you.
Yeah, they're both over 6 feet. So maybe that's where it's coming from. The actual Mayo side of the family is finally coming through. I just got gypped on it. Too much like my dad in that sense. Anyway, we have a Monday night game. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, 12.5 is the spread.
How do you lay 12.5 points at this Steelers team right now, even though you have to?
I'll take Cincinnati. The over hit in the first game of the season. It was the first time in their past 5 games the over actually hit. So this game just feels like an under. And it might end up being like 24-0.
Yeah, that's actually the way I'm feeling the game too. It's like 20-3. But that gets you home. So I guess I got to take the Steelers.
I'll take Cincy plus 12.5.
What's the
Coins
case? Like it's their Super Bowl?
Yeah. Division game at home, Monday Night Football. How often does Cincinnati play in primetime these days? They were hoping
once a year.
So
they were hoping for Burrow, I'm guessing. Not Brandon Allen.
Can I go as far to say that horrendous performance, at home against Dallas was a look-ahead game for them?
Potentially.
On an off topic about the Bengals, though, Marvin Lewis has been now talked about as someone who's probably going to get interviews and maybe a job.
Chargers head coach, Marvin Lewis.
And I think, if the Jets hired Marvin Lewis, I would not be upset at all. I'm just laying that out there. He is a competent coach who's won a ton of NFL games, who would be a CEO type head coach who'd hire his guys. Marvin Lewis is a very underrated head coach who was very successful. I think he got a raw deal in Cincinnati at the end when they replaced him and they've been even worse. I like Marvin Lewis. He should get a job. And if it's New York, I'm on board with it.
I feel like if this was 2005, you'd be fine. Marvin Lewis now strikes me as like the homeless man's Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera really tried to update himself for the times. He's not quite there, but he's a very competent head coach. And that's what very dysfunctional teams need from time to time, is just an adult in the room who has good structure. Marvin Lewis does seem to have good structure, but it feels like his style of football is antiquated at this point. And maybe but it's just like Mike McCarthy had, like, oh yeah, I've updated the way that I play. Sure you have. Sure. You haven't. I doubt Marvin Lewis had. How old is Marvin Lewis?
Gotta be in his 60s, but we've seen coaches get hired on the second go around at that age and do fine. So,
like, who was the last one?
Off the top of my head, right? Dick Vermeil took the Chiefs to a couple of big playoff berths. Joe Gibbs took to the Washington football team to a couple of playoff berths. Jimmy Johnson took the Dolphins to those are older examples. Those are examples of guys who are older who get a second crack at things and do fine. So it can work.
Maybe I'm wrong about this, but didn't Dick Vermeil get the second go around after he had just won the Super Bowl with the Chiefs?
Yeah, he
retired.
He
retired.
Yeah,
he retired.
Yeah, so it wasn't like
but he won the Super Bowl with the Rams,
and then
so
retired.
He came back like 4 years later.
But he was never fired. I think Pat's point was he was never fired. Like, he could get a second chance.
Yeah, people wanted him to come. And it was Mike Martz who they gave all the credit to, but at least Dick Vermeil was old at the time with the Rams.
Yeah.
And he had enough sense to be like, hey, I'm going to adapt what I'm going to do. So at least there was a clear path with that. I just don't see with Marvin Lewis. He did the same thing in Cincinnati every single year. That produced exactly the same result every single year.
Well, when you're 0-16, I could use a couple of
Geoff giving you the Super Bowl next year of teams with most hope. So
no.
Having Marvin Lewis as your coach.
They don't go to contenders, but they get Trevor Lawrence this season. Oh, come on. It's the genesis of maybe a great Jet rebirth.
Yeah, but what if it's the Genesis project? That was canceled.
It was canceled.
You taking Pittsburgh or Cincy?
I have to take Pittsburgh. They've played so many duds. I feel like they've got to just give an A game.
I was talking to Paul about this because his friends said they wanted to pool all their money and bet on the Bills to win the Super Bowl. All his Bills friends. But
that seems
why do they have to pool their money as opposed to just betting the Bills themselves for what they want? My buddies no, I just have an account.
The only way you know for sure your buddies also have skin in the game. They aren't lying to you about having made the bet.
No, I'm just saying, okay, so what? We all have one $800 ticket, or I could just make my own $200 ticket. Yeah. I don't know. I'll just make, it's the same bet. So the book isn't giving us a better payout if we bet more.
I have books. I have accounts at 12 different sports books. I'm just I'll just bet stuff when I want to bet it.
Yeah, whatever currently has.
You know what? My boys love a good group team bet, so I get where his group chat is coming from in that sense. But yeah.
But now is
My
the
friends
absolute.
don't want to group bet with me.
Yes.
That was the
That makes
absolute
sense.
worst time to bet the Bills
Yeah.
to win. 2 weeks ago was the time to bet the Bills to win the Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
Now they won 2 fantastic
That everyone
primetime
saw.
games. I'm sure come playoff, doubt will come in again.
Oh yeah,
Like, we'll just wait,
any
yeah.
other week. Wait till they fucking lose to Denver. Or
Yeah,
something.
just wait before the playoff. People will be doubting them because guess what? Josh Allen is really good, Pat. But
He
you know
threw
he's
the ball
never
backwards.
he's never won a playoff game.
It was my contention that, and Paul had told me that the odds didn't really shift all that much, but now would be actually the best time all season, except for like week 1, to bet Pittsburgh to win the Super Bowl if you wanted to. Everyone's sold off their Pittsburgh shares. They're no good anymore. Like, they're a good team. They could win the AFC.
If the Patriots win this week and the Bills win, is there a division that can be clinched or not yet, Paul? Because I'd like that money.
Well, the Patriots cannot catch the Bills.
No, but to beat Miami.
If they beat Miami and Buffalo wins, is that a division clinch or we still got to wait that out?
If the Bills win this week against Denver, the division is clinched.
Yeah, that's
It
11
only
wins.
takes-
regardless of what happens?
Regardless of what happens.
Nice.
No.
Good for you.
Okay.
That'd be the first one in forever. I think getting a division champion T-shirt is like corny because you expect more, but
I
the
want
team
one
to
badly.
officially dethrone that Patriot reign, I think that is AFC East T-shirt purchase worthy. I mean,
I know. I wish it was me.
Tim has an AFC Championship Pittsburgh Steelers t-shirt.
Yeah, I do.
The reason why that would be is because the Bills would have basically swept the
You
entire
can't-
conference or the entire division.
you can't get Allen
record.
jerseys now. Apparently,
It's sold out?
like around Christmas right now, you cannot get them. So I've heard.
A lot of people out there with Josh Allen MVP tickets that aren't going to cash, but
This MVP thing, it's like we're going to try to debate, like, find other guys other than Michael Jordan to give the MVP to.
yeah, but sometimes that is a real narrative. It's like how LeBron hasn't won
that's
MVP
what
every
I
single
like.
year. But this year, the 2 leading candidates at this point, at least in my mind,
Mahomes, Wilson, what?
Mahomes and Rogers.
Rogers, yeah, I forgot
2 guys that
Rodgers.
have won
Yeah,
before that,
yeah.
like, okay, we'll just give it to who actually had the best year.
Yeah.
Although in terms of QBR, Rogers has passed Mahomes now. Rogers having a really
And has
good
Mahomes
year.
gotten an MVP?
Yeah, he won 2 years ago.
So his first year as the
Yeah, he threw 51 touchdowns.
And then last year he won the Super Bowl. Lamar gets the MVP. This year he could probably do both. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, Wilson's like, it's funny that we had all this talk earlier on in the year, like Russell Wilson has never gotten an MVP vote before. And then he's going to go through the season and not get an MVP vote again.
No, of course not. He's not the most valuable player in the league.
Well, it's also funny. I think Tim ranted about this, and I totally agreed with him. The day after the Kyler Hail Mary versus Buffalo, it was like, he's the MVP now. Like, I don't know, it was like a bit of a luck sack play. Made him the MVP. He didn't play well today.
Yeah, the only reason that the Kyler narrative got pushed, because a bunch of us out there have like 75-1
Yeah,
Kyler
'cause-
Murray MVP tickets.
and
the more you talk about it, the more it gets into the
No,
ether.
as I said, as I spoke to someone quickly, the hottest bets that were taken when MVP odds came out were Kyler. People were copying the Lamar thing, year 2.
And he's doing it,
Skill
it's
set,
not working
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, if they were 13-1, I'm sure we would be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are just trying to push their moon money.
Remember the year before, the most popular MVP bet was Trubisky?
So listen, people could, guys, I'm just playing the other side.
Oh, here we go.
No, I'm saying, like, I bet you Tua could be a popular MVP bet next year. The Dolphins will be set up to be a great team, to win a lot of games. He is an icon status player. That he, like, just by half doing it, he gets bonus points because of icon status.
Who he is? Yeah, I can see that.
And that would continue the trend of popular bets now being that year 2 quarterback.
Great. All Dolphins, and everyone will be all again. Oh, Dolphins are going to win the Super Bowl. Tua is the MVP.
See, that's the other part of it. I know tons of Dolphins fans, like a fan. They're like excited to play a wild card game. No, none of my friends who are like, I believe, smart and love the Dolphins mention them going to the Super Bowl one time to me, Tim.
The thing I hear the most from
It's
Dolphins
Bills fans now talking Super Bowl.
Well, that's plausible.
Yeah, I know. And fair for them. I'm excited.
But Dolphins-wise, everyone I've talked to who's a Dolphins fan is excited about Flores #1. Love Brian Flores.
Of course.
And they like the defense.
Yeah. And like, if we hit on this quarterback, you're all fucked. Because there's a great program
They don't like
there.
the health of the offense, which is not great right now.
But whatever, man. They get that Houston pick. They can maybe draft a Jamar Chase.
Well,
they can.
if Houston loses this week, like Houston could have the 4th pick, couldn't they?
It's very weird how it sits right
because
now.
everyone's like 4 and whatever.
The Chargers won, but it seemed like everybody won except the Bengals.
And Atlanta, who they beat, so that dropped them and kept them where they were. So, yeah.
It's weird.
But there's like 6 teams with 4 wins.
That's why don't win more than 5 games. Keep me in the top like 9. Don't want to fall back to 11.
You want to get 11.
I think the Dolphins go out and get like a Jamar Chase in the draft. Shit, I'll be after doing a lot of talk out of the other side of my mouth.
I don't know, but I know I have to spend this Saturday watching the guy who's going to be my QB of the future and cheer against him as hard as I can that he plays terribly.
Is it Clemson Notre Dame?
Oh, yeah.
It sure is.
Didn't they play earlier?
They did, and the Irish
it was a great
won.
game.
Was that without Lawrence?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. The Irish don't control when they play people, so
that doesn't matter.
I don't think Tim was trying to. I don't think he was just saying.
It's going to be weird for me to have to cheer against Lawrence when I'm about to cheer for him for the next 15 years.
But you're beating the Browns next week and you're going to cost yourself, Lawrence. Remember?
Yeah. Wouldn't that put Jacksonville into the mix, or how does that work?
No, it would. If the Jets win, Jacksonville takes over number 1
If
seed.
they tie 1-15, there is a formula you could figure out who gets it because the
tiebreaker
is different.
It goes to Jacksonville because it goes to who has the worst strength of schedule.
Yeah, it pretty much goes to if we tied. Who played an easier schedule, deeming
Correct.
we tied.
Correct.
I had an easier road to get to this tie. Therefore, I'm worse than you. That's how draft tiebreaker.
And that's bad news for the Chargers because they played the Chiefs twice.
Yeah,
yes.
And the Raiders.
Yeah, and it's probably great for Dallas. Dallas looks like they're set up to win all tiebreakers for this.
You know what? If we cost
pick.
ourselves Lawrence to get that win against the Browns, the spite will be so great. It'll be like when Bojack set that $1 million on fire. Just to not have to tell you that Daniel Radcliffe's name was Daniel Radcliffe. So what?
I love
I just want it so bad. Oh, whatever. I just want it so badly. I've earned it.
It's funny that Tim's face in that picture looks like the crying meme guy. Just a little bit.
No, it doesn't.
Like when Tim was crying in week 1, I assume like this is almost exactly what he's looking
like. Oh, it was
but with the same haircut as our Dolphins friend.
It was dry air.
Superlocks for the week.
Right.
Going out on a limb here. You ready?
I think I know where you're going.
Jacksonville plus 13.5. Keep it close for me and backdoor that game. Not believing in this Ravens defense right now. 13.5. Too many points. Geoff. Tim.
Seattle.
Really? Seattle?
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Seattle minus 5.5 on the road.
I'm surprised Tim didn't go New England.
I know he
was. That was 1B.
Well, I overthink it. The Chiefs have to win a game by less than a field goal.
It's not a bad call. Chiefs minus 2.5 on the road
with no fans in the Superdome. Like it's not even it's not primetime anyway. I keep thinking it's primetime. America's game of the week though, with that afternoon schedule, it feels like primetime.
I heard that the Saints owner is going to buy 80,000 vaccines and distribute them to the fans to populate the stadium for that game specifically.
Didn't he just die?
I was making that up.
Yeah, it does seem like the sort of thing the NFL would do before the Super Bowl.
It really does, doesn't it?
That's right up their alley.
That has to be on the table.
How full will that stadium be in Tampa? Because me and my friends have been debating it.
They said 20%.
I think it'll be more.
I think it'll be more too.
If they can actually get their hands on this vaccine, they will pump that place full. And it's in Florida, and Florida doesn't give a shit anyway. So what's the difference?
I have a friend who's a hardcore, as I mentioned, a joke, a Titans fan. And like me, he's like, no, like we go to the Super Bowl, hell or high water, I'll be there. But he's like incredibly COVID paranoid. He hasn't seen his parents in like 5 months, and he's still telling me he will go to the Super Bowl if it's there. And I'm like, you're such a lying full of shit. You haven't seen your parents in half a year. You're going to Ron DeSantis home? No chance, pal.
Maybe he will.
Oh, that was another one. Tua. That was another name. Attacked me with like 6 messages. Tua plus DeSantos gods or something. I'm telling you, man. I don't know what was coming at me.
You're getting trolled by bot accounts.
I don't know. I was.
Did they have the American flag in their
yes,
name?
A lot of them.
Oh, so they're patriots. God bless them.
Good for them.
That's how you know. by the way. Yeah, that's what you should do, Tim. I think you should put an American flag in your name.
I think Tim's dad put me in Reddit.
Is Doug aware of Geoff?
No. He doesn't really
Tim
know
is
what
harsher than I am.
What's that?
Even though I'll like be the face of it.
What?
Like truly hating the Dolphins, I think.
Your dad doesn't know what a podcast is, Tim? Your dad's not old.
I think he sort of understands, but not really. You know.
Well, didn't you read that Bob McCowan article? You definitely didn't read it. But he's been doing a lot of talking this week. He's like, here's the thing. I own Bay Street. I can't believe they fired me. I make money. That demo, the rich guy loves me.
They fired him?
Or like with the thing with the buyout last year. They kicked him off the air. It's like, I made that place money.
I assumed he was still on the air.
Whatever, it worked. And he goes, here's the problem now. My demo doesn't know how to find me. I got to like literally spoon feed it into their mouth, the rich like Bay Street guy.
We have a lot of rich Bay Street people who listen to this show. They have the money to listen.
Yeah, but they're also the same guys that like play DFS that know how to work the computer though.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, they're not the 65-year-old Bay Street guy. They're the 40-year-old Bay Street guy.
It is true. We do get a bit of those. Yeah.
It's because we're localized. We film just off Bay Street, so that makes sense. Green Bay, Seattle, Indianapolis, New England is your money line parlay, Tim?
I have Seattle, Green Bay, Arizona, New England, and Indianapolis.
I still think you should leave an open slot on it where you automatically put Jets money line next week into this ticket.
You bet the farm, you win 5.75 farms.
This is all very similar. Or just save your money and bet the Jets next week. It'll be like plus 550 just on their own, more than likely. But this is very much like that week where all you had to do was bet New Orleans, who was plus money, against Tampa Bay, and you would have won plus 150 or plus 200, whatever it was, but you threw them on a fucking 5-leg parlay and lost.
Yeah, I'm aware, but I don't care.
All right.
Duly noted.
That will do it on the Pat Mayo experience. Too bad I already gave Tim his Christmas gift for me this year. Because Doug the Pug is on Cameo now.
Oh, wow.
It's $150 to get a Doug the Pug
What?
cameo. Yeah.
Tim, can you believe this guy can get $150?
He's like sold out too.
Great. Marvelous.
Triggered.
So interesting.
But on the weekend, I did throw out that Tim should really be on Cameo. Because that guy from The Office made $1 million on Cameo last year. Kevin from The Office.
Really, some guy who was on a famous television show on NBC that everybody knows did well. Gee, yeah, I bet he did do well.
I mean, there's far more famous people on there that do not as well.
High Pitch Eric is making 6 figures, like a Stern Whack Packer.
Put it this way. I do okay on Cameo. Paid for all my Christmas gifts this year. Shout out for the people who got some cameos. But Tim would do way better than me on Cameo. Can you imagine the amount of people who would... Tim could charge $100 and be like, hey, Tim, can you wish my friend well in his matchup this week?
Hey, Tim, can you wish my mother-in-law a happy birthday? Here's $150.
I'm telling you, you're sitting on a gold mine.
I'm seeing Undertaker's doing cameos
$1,000
to grandma.
$1,000.
The guy no one was more committed to the gimmick than anybody.
He does it in full character.
He wanted to die in the gimmick.
It's great. It's
Granny.
Rest in peace.
So I was going viral yesterday, but Bruce Buffer broke up with a guy, paid Bruce Buffer $300 to tell his girlfriend to get out of here.
That's a pretty good for someone to get. Getting Undertaker would be better to do it.
Yeah.
Or getting Tim to do it would be even better. You need to beat it, babe. Take a hike. I mean, I'm available for these too, and I'm much cheaper than Tim would be. But I'm telling you, $100 Tim you could charge on Cameo.
No, not interested.
Why? 20 people do it.
He's so rich he doesn't need it.
Yeah. Are you too rich?
No. Just I'm not going to be used as a methodology of use like a totem to curse various people's matchups or birthdays. No, I'm sorry. I will not do that. I'm not interested.
My buddy got one from Big Ed, from TLC fame.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's American money. Yeah. So after they take the rake off of it, it would turn if Tim charged $100, it would be like 110 Canadian per message. So Tim, you're above making $110 per minute.
My integrity is just, I'm not selling it.
I don't see what's disingenuous about it. You do it for free all the time anyway.
You go ahead and go ahead.
Listen, I don't have the powers you have.
I don't have any powers.
But you're just bragging about cursing the Patriots.
I didn't curse them. I just wanted the Patriots fans to think I was on their side, and they'd be like, "Oh, finally, this guy's with us." And then when they lost, it would like be doubly great.
Paul?
He doesn't think like Tim. Don't you think that you could make more money than Doug?
No, you know what? I don't want to
Cameo?
talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Tim, you would never actually have to work if you had Cameo. That could be your job. And you could do it. And you could do it during your job if you really wanted to.
No, I don't want to do it.
Oh, I'm Tim. I make $500,000 a year. I can make $500,000 more, but I don't need that much money. Listen to you.
No.
So you think a dog could make more money than you?
Well, evidently he is making more than me. That's fine.
Because you don't even seem to want to.
I just want to scroll on my phone and not pay attention.
Doesn't it bother you that
Sorry,
the dog can make
I'm
more
just
money
seeing where
than
my
you on an
latest
app like
attacks from South Beach are coming from.
Addicted to the Menchies.
They're probably coming from, God knows where. Kazakhstan or Russia or...
You say Prussia?
Russia. Yeah, Prussia.
The Prussian emperor is tweeting at Geoff, but he has an American flag next to his name, though. Just so you know he's a patriot. Tim, are you taking any of those Trump bets?
No, I'm not.
You're not doubling down on Trump?
No. Can you imagine what a fool you'd have to be?
I read on the internet, just like about Tim, like I was telling you guys before the show, Tim is really into the Masked Singer now, which is just a part of it. But I don't know. I'm telling you, people are now circled the date January 6th. They keep pushing the date back, but I think I'm with them on this, that it's all just going to be revealed the Trump won, and that's going to be it. And you guys are going to be looking like fools. Foolish.
You're right about that.
I like that a lot.
Golf bets. The dailies and the layman's is what I'm going with. 14 to 1, 16 to 1.
I'll tell you on the layman's.
What? Daly Jr. is good.
Yeah, he crushes it.
Everyone's betting on fucking Tiger's son, who's like 9 years old. Daly's son's like legit good.
I don't know the format, though.
It's a father with his son.
Yeah, but do I just get Tiger score?
Yeah, but Tiger's nowhere near the best player in this tournament. Justin Thomas is in this tournament.
I haven't looked at it, man. The layman's, I don't know. I don't need to bet anything.
The Layman's have 2 professional golfers on their team.
My God, my U.S. Open girl lost by a stroke. Someone made 3 birdies in the final 3 holes. Full Schwartzel.
Oh, she won? The girl who made the 3 birdies?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the Coe came in second. Not Lydia Coe.
James Coe from the NFL Network?
I had a 20 to 1 miss out by a stroke.
Hey, I bet on stupid non-O'Hare to win that team
I bet
challenge.
on the Australians and someone else who did poorly.
But Kuchar and English won by like 12 strokes or something stupid. They ran away with it.
They blitzed it. And Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, did he end up winning overseas?
Yeah. And Westwood won the race to Dubai and got himself those dreaded Ryder Cup points for you European golf fans.
Oh, that's bad news. Bad news for Team
And he
Europe.
even sent out a tweet. He's like, if I make the team, I deserve to be on it. I love Westwood. He's the man.
He is not a good fit.
Bad fit for that situation.
Bad fit for Whistling Straits.
Yeah.
They need to get Party Marty Keimer on the team. Veteran of Whistling Straits. That team's hopeless. I was looking at it this morning. Fucking Victor Perez is on it. Hovland's not even close. You'd have to be a captain's pick, wouldn't he?
Yeah, of course.
But they still have an entire year to go.
Yeah.
I saw there was some guy I've never heard of who's one of the Italian qualifiers.
Paratori? Who?
I thought it was like Laporta Potty or something. Is his
know.
name? I don't know. Like I've never heard of half these guys who have qualified for the Olympics. But we have a bunch of golf shows coming out over Christmas time. You ready to do that? We're going to film that next Monday.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Golf draft.
Yeah.
Then we'll have all of our previews. Tim, you want to join us for our major preview next year?
Sure. I'm around on Monday.
No, we're doing the draft on Monday. We'll have to do that at a different time.
Oh, yeah, sure. No, I'm happy to do that.
Torrey Pines next year.
Yeah. Kiowa, which is not the greatest course, but whatever.
I like Kiowa. Kiowa was good last time. It was hard.
Not really. Yes and no.
I mean, it wasn't a problem for Rory. It was a problem for basically everyone else.
It's a weird course, but whatever. I'm fine with it. I'll be curious to see how it plays in the early spring. Yeah, and then Royal St. George's, which is a gorgeous and very difficult course, and Torrey, which the boys all know. So yeah, some good courses.
You see, some people are skipping Torrey Pines. Like Rory and Justin Thomas are going over to the Middle East the week before Torrey Pines. They might stick around for Dubai.
Yeah, they lost some events. They'll take those free appearance fees.
But they're going to skip Torrey Pines, potentially.
Whatever. People used to do that a lot.
Yeah, they've played Torrey Pines enough. They know what the course is like. And the USGA sets it up so much differently than the San Diego.
Might not even want to see it.
Yeah. Tiger will play. Yeah. Maybe he'll win there. Then we'll do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Rate and review, 5 stars. If you rate anything less than that. Someone told us the other day, did not leave a 5-star review, I saw. They said, I like the football, but I don't like the rest. Could you imagine tuning into the show to hear about the football and not the rest?
Pretty weird.
It's mind-blowing to me. Anyway, Geoff Fienberg. You watch the Geoff Fienberg Show Wednesdays, 10 Eastern Time on FTNDaily.com. 2 Eastern Time on Fridays on FTNDaily.com. We'll have more. We're not going anywhere over the holidays, so we'll be continuing to do these shows all the time. Paul's behind the camera. On the line is Tim Cust.
Tim Cust.
That is not my name.
Leaving you with this one question, Tim, that I want you to answer for me, all right? Old MacDonald had a farm, correct?
Yes.
What happened to Old MacDonald?
That's a very good question. I don't know what happened.
They never explained that. My son was watching it this morning.
It's true. He had a farm.
Did someone murder him?
Maybe that whole song is about debating who gets the inheritance.
He had the farm. What happened to this farm? I don't get it.
Maybe it was repoed by the bank.
I don't know.
Maybe. Good one.
He didn't get the CPP loan. that guy from the church got everyone's money, and poor old MacDonald couldn't keep his farm. Anyway, hurting small businesses, I guess, is the answer to the question. If you know what happened to old MacDonald's farm, I'd really like to know. Anyway, that's me. I'm Pat Mayo. Like the episode. Cheat sheet will be up on ftnbets.com. We'll have more shows later in the week. I got to take some more back drugs. I'll see you next week.
See you, Geoff. Happy. Yeah. Real funny.
What?
I was trying to make that. I was trying to get that in time.
Yeah. Real funny. Well, have a happy birthday again, Geoff.
Oh,
and
thank you.
and a happy Hanukkah and all that.
I wish the Chargers were playing Sunday. I'd like to be playing on my birthday. But
really?
Yeah. All right.
That would be cool.
Later.
All right, guys. All the best.
Dinner.
Bye.
See ya. Enjoy your barbecue.
Pick up some Mexicon.
Leave.
Buy a
meeting.
Cabana.
Experience!